We're back.
Aha! And we're back. Hold on, let me fix the screen here. Ding! All right. I think I did it. Are we doing it? Are we live, guys? Can you guys see us? Things happened fast right there for a second. It was like, in that last minute, you're like, okay. So the trick is you got to start the show, right on time, so I don't have to import the whole thing into GarageBand and then trim the first 10 seconds of blank space. That's a good one. Internet sensation. Shout out to the Canadians. So, all right, how we doing? It's Tuesday. We're back, and we've got...
Dude, this looks good. I don't know who was saying the other day.
Yeah, I saw the same. I was just thinking about that today, about how someone was clowning on you, and I'm like, nah, man.
I would, if I was like, pulled up YouTube, I'd click on that.
I'd click on that. I'd click on the Mortal Kombat 2
Mortal
first.
Kombat 2 looks good.
Right?
Oh, it's a full movie.
That's on HBO Max. I wonder if Camille's going to want to watch that tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Anyway, side content. I couldn't find the Africa hard drive, but I did find this Africa mask that I put up right here instead. I'm going to locate the red hard drive that I have, which has got all the gold on it. We're going to watch the brutal massacre. Can you guys hear us? I can't barely see this thing. Let me pop this sucker out here. Top chat, live chat. We are ripping. All right, so real quick, we've got a bunch of stuff going on. A bunch of announcements from both our sponsors. We've got events like literally popping up for the next couple of weeks. You and I do. Yeah. We had one guest lined up today, but we pushed him to next week because it's a great guest. And I think everybody loves talking to him. We're not going to spoil it yet. We're going to keep we got to get a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But today's guest is the voice of paintball. And some might argue that we're the voice of paintball, to be completely honest. But you can be blindfolded and you'll know. Right? And it's been a long time coming. We're trying to get him going.
Yeah.
Plus, Pate Smith is like, he's the man. And he's been wanting to give away some cash. He's got a bunch of cash burning a hole in her pocket. And we've got move of the event, both the prelims and the finals day lined up for you guys from the Dover event. We had too many back-to-back events. What are we looking at?
Oh, it's a call.
Oh, yeah, I know. I deny it, and
that's
that pops
a new
up here.
operating system.
I don't want that. I don't want anything. If I don't want to answer the call, I don't want it on my computer.
Yeah.
I said no on my phone, not no, put it here.
Oh, yeah.
Like as soon as I say no here. Anyway. Pate Smith, move of the event. Pate is also a sponsor of the show. And I've been talking to him about a couple cool little projects that we got coming up. So, obviously, if you guys watch the show, you already know that Pate Smith is the maze runner of the legal advice for insurance claims. If you guys are the maze runner, he's the guy who runs the maze. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to run the maze. You're going to end up just not understanding what's going on.
Yeah.
He's going to get you through to the end of the maze when you guys are dealing with your insurance companies. But actually, a couple other things we're doing is he wants to revamp his social media. So what he's going to be doing soon, and stay tuned for the Dallas event leading up to it, is he's going to do one of those little like, follow, comment, share, tag 3 people kind of thing to get some social engagement, get some followers on his page. And he's going to pay for, I think, up to half of someone's paint bill.
Dang.
Yeah. I hope I win. Our paint bill's free, but I mean, there's perceived value.
Yeah.
And we shoot a lot of paint. So Pate Smith is going to pay for somebody's.
Dude, we're gonna have to get a little practice in prep for PB Fit weekend. I definitely am.
You definitely need to. Yeah. You need to. You need to start.
I need to go out to the field and get some drills.
You might need to do some drills.
In.
If I'm home this weekend, I will. I will. Sac Paintball also gives away free paint for an entire year, or is that BFP Gear? That's at the end of the year, so be prepared for that. And speaking of BFP Gear and Sac Paintball, I'm jumping around. Don't let me forget, I'm going to be giving away my gold frames, not worn. These have not been worn. I do really like these, and I kind of wanted to keep them, but I was like, you know what? These are really cool. These are available at bfpgear.com.
Those are called Millennium Pants?
Those are called Millennium Pants.
For the paintball series?
Yeah, it kind of was like Turn of the Millennium. Like we wore those in the Millennium.
Oh.
Yeah, like the 2000s.
Oh, not like the Millennium in Europe.
Not like Willennium. like the song.
But Millennium.
Yeah,
that
Millennium.
was the NXL Europe.
It was the NXL Europe. Yeah, it's also the Millennium. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a, you know,
Like a century.
it's like a
Similar
like
word?
like 10 of them.
Or a decade.
Like 100 of those.
But it's like one of those words.
It's one of those words. Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Makes
Like
sense.
tiger and wear. Like I wear something, but it's tiger wear. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it was 2 words.
Those are
before
2 words.
I took it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so is millennium. Mil and ennium.
What's Ennium?
So anyway, ennium way. We got off track here, and I wanted to go over. Oh yeah, if you guys so pay attention to our show as well as the Pate Smith Law Instagram, because we're gonna be doing some giveaways there, and we're gonna be giving away a bunch of paint. And yes, the retro team pants. I think they used to be called team pants. We'll go back to the pants thing. I see some comments here.
Well, that's why I brought it up.
Yeah. So actually, they were called the team pants when they were first released, but then JT re-released team pants, but a much lighter version. I think we have a pair in there. Much lighter version, like the skin tight, kind of like really tight fabric with the big knees also. And then everybody said, I was traveling a lot, and I go, man, everybody seems to love these pants, and everybody's like, dude, if they rip, I just sew them back together because you have to have them. So anyway, we revamped them. We re-released them. They're available at your favorite online retailer. Check out, I think JT sold out, so maybe BFP Gear has some. The Dynasty just got some in. We got a limited run with the Dynasty Dragon down the back and a couple other cool little features, and they're the blue ones, obviously. So those are going to be available at dynastypaintball.com. And then we've got so it's like I said, we got the move of the event, we've got this giveaway here, we got Maddie Marshall, we've got upcoming events.
Tell him what time to.
Yeah, just join the cruise in whenever he wants.
Is it open?
Oh, we're open for business, my friend. And then also, okay, AJ, no Dynasty practices before layout weekend. So we're going to be doing a couple bits of traveling, but because Paris is the weekend before the layout weekend, a lot of guys are flying out to Paris a little early. So I'm hoping that I can get Todd at SC Village to set up the Paris layout on the end of this month. We get the Paris layout set up at SC Village San Diego on the 29th and 30th, and I'll just be out there running some drills, playing some paintball. These are good. These are little mango drip. I'm good.
All right.
I have like a Costco size, like a full, like a liter of those things.
Dang.
I don't know how to measure those in a bigger thing. Like a pound of them or something like that. So, yeah, Mix A, my man. Yes, we'll make it happen at SC Village San Diego. So yeah, I'll probably come in on the Saturday and help you guys set up, and we'll rip. Dude, and we are absolutely ready. How do we say we all? Like, you know, like, y'all ready? Like, what would be the response to that?
We are.
No, but it's like, that's how you're supposed to say it. Are you ready?
We is.
We's ready.
We's.
We's ready.
We's.
That's it. Good call. Thank you. So, what did Maddie just say? Oh, he's on.
Oh.
And yes, AJ, they do have the starfish. Okay, let me bring Maddie in here. Right.
Yeah, AJ, I'll be free that weekend before layout practice if you want to do something with the lords too. I think I'm nothing on the docket for that one.
All right, there he is with the dramatic zoom on entry.
Yeah, I control that manually, doing all this by hand.
I picked a good photo for the banner because it was what you're actually wearing, so it's like you just went from the still banner straight to live action.
Yeah, I think I was wearing that HORMESIS pullover. It was pretty clutch. I wore that one out. So, Alex, if you're listening, I need another one of those. This is just a black T-shirt, dude. It's a regular black T-shirt. Kind of like what you got. I'm trying to match Ryan. Or sorry, I'm trying to match Spicka, dude. To match Spicka.
Minimalist.
Dude, speaking of me, I actually really like this shirt when he designed it. I got some clatter stuff. This is the one with the rhino guy in the back. Mm-hmm. Sloan loves this shirt. This thing's sweet. I like these kind of shirts, and it's like really thin. Check this out. Material. I like this is like a summer shirt.
Yeah.
That's me. That's what I need. I need one of these things all day.
Yeah, I love it when you get like a thin shirt.
Just like really lightweight.
This is pretty thin. You're in a garage. I'm in a garage right now. It's
Doug, we moved, pal.
You're not in a garage anymore?
No. We're in a full studio. AKA laundry room, AKA
I know you
office.
moved, but I figured there was no way that your wife was going to allow you to have like an actual studio.
I rule the roost here.
No, you do not.
I rule the roost. You know what I mean?
It's a shared effort for you guys. Shared.
She's not home. No, if she could have it her way, we would be in the garage as well. There's some focus issues here. We'd probably be in the garage if she could have her way.
I think maybe it was that. Kind of like changing the light. Yeah.
But we don't have power in the garage, and the garage is like... It's got ancestral worth of just loads, decades, millennials worth of gear just stuffed in that thing from the hoarders that lived here beforehand. So we're slowly making dump runs.
There's probably some like possessed doll up there hidden away.
There were. Yeah, there was
like a little note, and it's
there
not
was like
English, and you read it.
Oh, there was like a rocking horse, like a black rocking horse with red beady eyes that they had in the rafters. They built rafters in the garage so they could store more stuff in there. That's how much stuff is in there. You'd actually appreciate it, Maddie.
Yeah, no, I like Kyle's idea though, dude. Hold on. I like that there's a like a haunted doll that lives there. Mm-hmm. Make that shit into a horror movie.
I'm telling you, I think there is. That's what I'm saying. We got rid of some of it. There was a bunch of lava rock, and I'm a huge proponent of not housing lava rock. You're not supposed to, you gotta like leave a small footprint, don't litter, pack in, pack out kind of thing. That's where I'm at. So you don't steal lava rock. Or you're gonna
get bad karma, bro.
That's
bad karma.
The curse of Kamehameha, King Kamehameha. We talked about it on a show one time.
Goku.
Who's that?
He does the Kamehameha.
Oh yeah, there you go. So anyway, we're not gonna go back to this one again, but I was certain that after the roof debacle, I went and gathered up all the lava rock and I shipped it back to Hawaii. I don't know who Goku is. You're right, J-Tuck.
He said you do know.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
I've heard of Kamehameha. He's famous.
Yeah, he's
Goku sounds familiar, but it also sounds like some random, like, final level boss in some, video game from 20 years ago that I should know about in some lore or some shit.
Yeah, what is Goku? Kyle knows. King Goku. Yeah. So Maddie, what's going on? What have you been up to? I haven't seen you in a while. The last time I saw you was when I was up in the booth. Obviously, you're up there forever, and I've got a lot of stuff running around when I'm at these events, but we haven't caught up at all lately, and I'm glad that you finally got back to us. I know that you only have 2 kids, catch up, but like, what have you been up to? Vacation, I know that.
Most recently, that was tight. Though I don't know if taking a 16-month-old on a cruise is a good idea.
No way.
I had no choice in this matter though, because it was my sis. So this was kind of. There's vacations that you decide to go on, and then there's vacations that you just end up going on because you don't have choice because it's like some family thing that you have to do. So this was my sister-in-law's 40th birthday. Okay. And I did kind of have a choice. I could have just put my foot down and been like, absolutely not, I'm not doing this. Mm-hmm. Because it'd been kind of a lot of travel the past 6 weeks. But I'd never been on a cruise, and I've always wanted to always wanted to go on one. So decided to do that. And then I wake up the morning of when we're leaving for this cruise for my sister-in-law's 40th birthday down to Cabo. Kind of excited, never been on a cruise before again. And then first thing when I open up my news app is hurricane in the Pacific intensifies. And I was like, oh shit, here we go, dude.
Yeah.
It's always got to be something. And then they didn't know like which way it was going to track for a little bit. So I'm like, oh great, I'm getting on a cruise ship for the first time. Also, so when I was younger, I used to get motion sickness really bad. It was like incapacitating. It was horrible.
Okay.
And haven't had it as an adult, but I've been on boats before, but I've never been on a boat for 5 days, So I was like, this is going to be interesting here. So I like loaded up all the medicine that you can possibly buy for motion sickness just in case, but not going to use any of it if I don't need it. And then I see that we're heading into a hurricane, or could be, and I was like, ah, shit. So yeah, so then we drive up to, throw the kids in the car, drive up to Long Beach. I've only been home for 24 hours from the last trip, from WCPPL, and where I coached and hosted the show. So I'm a bit weary. Then we drive up, anyone that spent time with kids in the car, young ones, it's not fun. So 2-hour drive up to Long Beach, and then the scramble to get on the boat. Then we get on the boat. First 2 days, it was like just constantly moving with the captain's coming on apologizing. He's like, yo, there's a hurricane. We don't have to worry about the hurricane. However, with the seas, we have this really long wave we're dealing with, and even though this boat has 3,000 people on it and is the size of a city block. But anyway, I didn't get sick at all. There was people getting sick, but it didn't happen to me, so I was pretty stoked on that. Anyway, whatever. I don't want to spend the whole time talking about cruises, but cruises were dope. It was dope. I'm very happy I went on that.
Cheap cruises right now straight to HORMESIS.
Yeah, but it comes with like a starter, like a TAC drone set with like some instructions written in really bad English because it was made in some Chinese factory. And then you have to put the weapons on yourself and arm them. And then it also comes with some like a Rambo kit, like an M60, and then like some rocket launchers for your cruise. And then don't be a pussy about the fights you're about to get into potentially.
But can you bring your kids? I don't know. There's like a railing though. Like you're not worried about them falling off.
I mean, nah. Well, there was like a railing that Monty could just see over if he got on his tippy toes. So I wasn't really worried. However, first of all, if you ever get on a cruise, just be wary. They're gonna give you this like receipt, like a receipt you get at like not CVS, like a long one, but they're gonna give you a receipt. That's your boarding pass, and they're gonna ask to see it 5 times before you get on the boat. Like I just don't. Do they have like? Are people sneaking on cruise boats somewhere in this terminal? Because like you check in. You give them your passports, and then, the lady gives you your thing, your little receipt, and then you keep going, and they check it again, and then they check it again. And then with kids, they're like, hey, it'd be helpful for us if you could have 2 and then your wife has 2 with the kids that you're with. I'm like, do you have kids? That's not how this works. I got a 16-month-old, bro. She's going to go wherever she wants to go, and I'm just going to grab her and keep her from running into strangers and hope she doesn't scream bloody mercy and light this place on fire before we actually get on this boat. And then when we get on the boat, we're going to be in a tiny little enclosed space with this little terror that is super cute, and I love her so much, but she's just, but she's a handful.
Well, anyway. I did say with all due respect.
I feel like sneaking on a cruise would be a bad idea too, because like you wouldn't have a room to stay in.
I'm just saying the amount of security it's not even the amount of security. Like it's a normal amount of security. It's just how many checkpoints they had for you to have to get your thing scanned. I'm like I could see minimizing the amount of checkpoints would probably increase the logistical elements of us getting on there in a more timely manner. Yeah. But again, I'm not a cruise ship professional here. Never been on one. It just seemed a bit weird. I'm like, I get on an airplane, they check me when you get through security, and then they check you when you get on the plane. It was not the case here. It was multiple checks, like multiple different, things. So anyway, but cruises, it was sweet, man. It was a good time. And it was actually out, like, the kids, it was a lot, but did get to relax a little bit. That was kind of cool. So anyway, yeah. So, but yeah, it's just kind of been a lot of travel and stuff. So yeah, I've been wanting to do the show, but also, when I'm home, I'm also dad mode too. So it's like, and you guys only do your show 1 time a week.
I know these ladies don't give us, any time off for ourselves,
Ever.
No,
there's no such thing.
No. It's like, as much as they in their mind believe that Corona, California is like a surf trip with the boys.
It's a surf trip there's a cruise with the boys and no girls.
That's what it is. It was basically we're going to the strip club for 5 days, right, babe?
Yeah, it's 100%.
Why are my lips chapped?
For sure.
I don't know. I've been partying super hard.
Yeah, nothing reminds me of the strip club like SC Village. You know what I'm saying?
Why am I sunburned and chapped? Because I've been ripping it super hard, having a time of my life.
Pool parties.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess SC Village could be a strip club if it was a dude strip club, because there are a decent amount of shirtless, dirty dudes there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what you're into, then that's a good spot for you. Like either that or paintball tournaments. The event was dope. I mean, that was cool. It was a little bit hot.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Sloan?
Hey.
How are you doing?
What are you doing?
Just bothering us?
Nope.
Just interrupting Uncle Kyle and Dada while he's trying to get some work done?
Nope, he's not even on his computer.
This is literally, you've never
Yeah,
seen
this-
this many computers in your life in the one place. What is this?
My phone.
Okay, I think
Why don't
Mom's
you go make a
calling.
call?
You gotta go make a call because it's too dirty in here. You have sand all over your face. How was junior lifeguards?
Oh, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, did you rescue anybody today?
Nope.
Okay.
0 people. Even the doll. No.
You didn't even rescue a doll? Okay. Hey, Mom said she wanted to practice CPR with you. She just texted me.
Can I see?
I can't because we're on the show right now. Go.
Yay!
She said she's gonna practice CPR.
CPR!
Lock the door.
Yeah,
All right.
Press that button on the way out.
All right. Anyway, go ahead, Maddie.
You said lock the door.
Yeah, no, just kind of, that was a good example of kind of what life's always like, you know? So you always got children rolling in, eating
There it
something.
is.
And, but it was cool. It was also, but yeah, if anyone's never been on a cruise before, go on one. It's sweet, but you have to be cool with that being around people all the time. I mean, and then when you go to your room, it's tiny. That's fine. If you're cool with like a small room, but everything's super close, unlimited food options, and there's definitely gonna, and everyone, honestly, and everyone's in a great mood on a cruise. It's like, it's kind of like if you like going to a paintball tournament's pretty awesome because everyone's there for one reason and there's a good communal vibe for the most part. It's antagonistic. There's no antagonism there on the cruise. Everyone's just there to have a good time. And the one good thing that was like a blessing to go there with kids is that when you're rolling around with your kids, everyone's like, "Oh, your kid's super cute. Your kid's super cute." I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much. Would you like to have them for the remaining of the voyage?" They can stay in your room. You know what I'm saying? Because this one's a little crazy, you know, but. Yeah, but it was fun. It was great. And then when you get back, you kind of have your like sea legs still. So for like 2 days, I felt like I was on a boat still, which was first time I ever experienced that in my life. That was kind of weird.
Oh, after.
Yeah, afterwards when you get off.
Yeah. Even when we went on that little like fishing trip, I felt like that after.
Those fishing trips are miserable. Miserable.
Yeah, they're pretty rough.
Yeah. So hey, let's talk about. I wanted to talk to you about just the outlook of your outlook of paintball because you're now commentating pretty much all of their events, right?
Are you doing Florida as well or no?
No, I said no to Florida because it's just too much, man. Like, because I got to do dad mode too, and with the stuff I got to do behind the scenes for everything, and it's just too much. It would be if I didn't have kids, I could do that, but I got enough travel, and because the coaching alliance, I got to go to Bakersfield to do that.
At least it's cool up there.
Yeah, just that nice coastal breeze in downtown Baco.
They have one giant thermometer.
Yeah, and the air quality. Oh, chef's kiss on the air quality up in Baco. But no, it's, I mean, whatever. This is what we do. This is our jobs.
Yeah.
So it's fine. I'm lucky that I have a job that I enjoy and feel fulfilled by, even though it can become, as tedious as other jobs. Doing certain things, and it does take me away from my family a lot, but also when I'm home I get to be home a little bit more than somebody that works a 9 to 5, so it's kind of, everything's got its blessings and its curses at the same time, and you just have to enjoy the blessings and kind of understand that any sort of struggle that you're dealing with, it's like shit could be way worse. So, shut up and just get it done. It's just kind of one of those things, like nobody cares, shut up and get it done.
I saw you when we were leaving WC. You literally came off after our D4 finals. You're like,
Yeah.
Peace.
I'm like, I'm out, dude. I got to go. My wife's like, when are you going to be home? I'm like, as soon as I possibly can.
Yeah, trust me.
Yeah. I'm not, I love it here, but I've already been baking in the sun since early this morning.
Dude, that was a hot one. That was a hot weekend.
Hot weekend?
That one, yeah. I feel like it was a constant, like 102, 103 for WC PPL. Maddie's
Bro,
like,
it was a scorcher, dude. Everywhere's been a scorcher the entire time, dude. I can't wait until I can put a hoodie on again. I said this last year, because last year was also a smoke show everywhere we went. I am counting the days down until I walk out of my house or anywhere that where I am in the world, and I go, ooh, Is it 60 degrees right now? Oh, I could use a hoodie. And then you put that comfortable, like that blanket hoodie on that just feels like a warm blanket. You put it on and you're like, ooh, I'm nice and comfortable now, and I'm being swaddled by this blanket hoodie. I can't wait for that to happen, because everywhere we go, it's the exact opposite. It's the surface of the sun. It's humid. Yeah, it's just nasty, dude. So, because Cincinnati wasn't as bad as it was the year before.
Was really hot.
Last year was really that was the worst tournament for me all year long, because when we're up in the tower, we're wrapped in
no wind.
No wind. So you're in very stagnant air, and it was funny because and now I'm getting old enough where I don't even care, dude. Like, I'll take all the technology, because last year, one of the scorekeepers, she was like, hey, do you want this little like fan? It kind of looked almost like bigger than a phone, and it just had like just a little breeze coming out, but it was quiet enough that I could use it around my microphone. And at first, my 25-year-old self was like, don't be a pussy, you got this. Like, you don't need it. You don't need a fan. And then I was like, it was so miserable. I'm like, yes, I will gladly take whatever you have. And then it was so nice. And it definitely helped me be able to focus on calling games and not just think to myself like, oh, this is disgustingly hot and I have to be up here for 11 hours straight. Yeah, so then this year, my wife sent me a couple links, and I kind of did the same thing. I'm like, nah, that's weakness. I don't need that. Like, I'll be fine. I do well in the heat. But it was like this. I should have brought it. I should have showed you guys.
Yeah, the double little thing that's got the two fans on it.
Yeah, dude, I had to brought that. But I used it for. But I would bring it into because the guys that I'm coaching had it worse than I did, because it was insanely hot out there. It was like a 140 on the turf. So if you played like 2-3 points in a row, you needed a rest. I also bring a chair for my guys too to sit in. So I would like put the fan on your neck. Like, oh, you need to go down one, and I put the fan on their neck. Because even just that little bit, after having, experienced a little bit of that myself, I was like, man, it's just so nice to get just a tiny couple minutes with a little something. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, no, I'm all about the technology now, so I'll take whatever I can get. And the little fan tech has definitely drastically improved. And when it has been a scorcher everywhere we've been, because Cincinnati was hot, and then we went to Bakersfield. Like, honestly, if it's not triple digits right now, like it's not even that big of a deal. Like, once the heat index gets to over 100, then I would put that in the miserable category. Like, now we're suffering. Anything up to that point, it's just kind of sort of sucks. It sucks, but you just kind of like don't think about it too much, because everyone is in the same spot that you're in. So, well, whatever, dude.
I mean, that's how I feel like with rain. It's like, it sucks for everybody. Now you're not gonna pass out in the rain or get too exhausted. Although, getting weighed down with all that like just heavy, wet equipment and just equipment failures is really. I can deal with heat. Heat, I'm just like, whatever, this sucks, but like my equipment's not gonna fail. Right.
That's very true. Yeah.
That's one thing you can mitigate. Now, if you get the swollen, like if your paint's sitting in the sun. If you're if it's triage and you're on the divisional field and you're like, you got an hour and a 3-hour break between your games, and you just decide to like pop a squat by one of the fences and just have your pods just sitting in the sun, then yes, that's going to be a bit of an issue. But but for the most part, at least you're not going to have equipment issues.
Totally. And rain is a whole other beast. I would rather be in 101 degree temps than it pissing rain down. If I was playing, if I'm calling games, I would much rather be in the rain, because then I get to watch super entertaining paintball, and I'm under a cover, so I'm not really getting wet unless the rain is coming sideways. Somebody also did say in the chat, I got chat up here, so what up to everyone in the chat? If you got some questions, throw them my way. Also, Tim Liaison, I don't know what this dude's name is. Anyway, embrace the suck. Yeah, bro, I'm literally sitting in a garage instead of my air-conditioned house here, because if I go in there, my little daughter is going to scream craziness, and then it's going to be a big scene. And it's 100 degrees in my garage right now, so I'm sweating my balls off here to do the show for you guys. Okay, I'm embracing the suck.
Maybe you should have came.
I did say I would turn the AC on for you if you came.
Yeah, but then I got to drive all the way from Arizona down to the beach. Ryan calls where I live Arizona. Anyway, no, honestly, I told Morgan, I was like, hey, I'm going to go to do the webcast, and I don't really want to sit in the garage. But then I was just, doing stuff all day after being gone for a while. And I'm like, man, I don't want to drive to PB right now, dude. I was like, if I could do this show.
Take a dip in the ocean. The ocean's like 75 right now. Where's your little neck thing? Why don't you
I actually should have got that, but the problem is that
it sits right on the mic.
It sits right at the mic. This is not the microphone set. I have other microphone setups I could use, but this one always works. But yeah, I want to go almost like go grab my I have a thermometer. It's on the other side of the garage. Whatever. I guarantee you, it's
sick?
probably.
You can go get your thermometer.
Am I feeling sick? No, not like a. I don't know.
I know.
Like,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm gonna go sit on my
temperature
thermometer because
meter.
I'm just gonna get a good temperature to see if my body heat's increasing right now. I'll pull
feeling
it
a
out
little
at the end of the show.
under
see
the
what
weather.
temperature is. Why's it got to be in there for an hour? So tell me, the question I had was kind of like watching the NXL. You get to obviously see talent from all over the nation.
Yeah. Yes.
But when you go to these regional events, it's like everybody from that location, right? So you get to see literally everybody who plays. And you know, one of the big arguments about the NXL is the expense. So like you don't really get to see everybody there. You only get to see the guys that can really are really putting in the extra effort to be there or really committing to those events. Tell me about the paintball outlook. Like, what do you think? Like, how does everybody like? What is the world of paintball look like right now, in your eyes, competitively? Why?
Sorry, I was just looking at some of these chat question. Well, it is a very interesting perspective. So I've been to Florida. So I'm not doing the Florida events, but I've done Florida events before. Obviously, the NXL Florida events, I do all those. So I get to see all the Florida talent there. And if you're a paintball team down there, you're going to be going to at least a couple of those NXL Major League Paintball events. Did the US or the other regional league down there a couple times in years past, and then now doing the Texas events and the WCPPL events. Coaching, so you're playing in different divisions too. Coach every division from Division 5 to Premier now, and kind of getting a good taste test of how it all kind of looks. Are you asking me this question from like a talent perspective and how the game's evolved, or are we talking paintball business?
A little bit of both, right? I mean, I want to know
those are
the
completely
age-old
different
question, which I think I'm sure that you have like a slight bit of bias, but like what coast is the best coast? What area, what region has the most talented players, the style of play, and just and then also just like what is do you feel like everybody like we're ripping, like we're healthy, we're feeling good? So this is like a multifaceted. You can answer this question however you would like. And yeah, I'm happy with any answer you'd want to give me, and we'll just kind of branch on and we'll just kind of go from there. Then we'll start talking about TV shows. We'll talk about, all that stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. Just hold on a second. I was just seeing if I could pull this up real quick to give you your answer.
Okay.
Just give me the slightest bit of time here.
Are you asking ChatGPT?
No, I'm not.
And you guys in the comments section, please chime in. It's funny, Maddie. You'll remember this too. Like there are different styles. I never really understood the different styles of play, like East Coast versus West Coast or South versus North, and like these types of things. And one very telling feature of East and West Coast, like way back in the day, was the cap drop zone. Right? Everybody on the West Coast had like a normal setup gun, which is what we use now. Just like exactly how you'd set your gun up. The tank back here, the same size tank. Everybody had pretty much the same size. Over on the East Coast, everybody had their gun setups like super, super small. And they wanted to be like their bottle like in line with the back of their gun. And that was like a big, not everybody, but like that's where the majority of the people had their guns. And they had these funny like drop forwards.
No, I'm with you on this. Sorry, I was just pulling this up. I don't know if I got this queued up perfectly, so give me a second to give some love for where I have obviously a biased affiliation for. Let me just see if this goes here off here real quick. Can everybody hear that?
No, we can't hear anything.
God damn it. Anyway.
Is it an audio file?
Yeah, no, I just tried to pull up a little California love, just that little bit. Yeah. But no, it's as much as I love California paintball and the origins, I believe, historically from the modern version of how this game is played stylistically does originate from the late 90s and early 2000s in the state of California. The skills have migrated amazingly, and every single place that has that has high paintball IQ, amazing talent, individuals that have lived the lifestyle and have really played a ton of paintball, took all that and ran with it. So as much to your point, yes, there, back in the day you had these, both the equipment that was used and the gunfights and the type of gunfights that were being done. Yeah, so I'm getting to the Texas being the mecca of paintball. Get me there. Give me a second. But these different places have embraced that, and it's been 26 years since the origin of that because I watched all this happen first fucking hand, man.
Right.
I literally watched all of this happen. I was a part of this. I was one of the dudes that was teaching people to shoot left-handed. Me and Davey Williamson and Tom Martinez would go in my backyard and do drills and teach ourselves how to shoot left-handed. We're a part of this evolution of both skills and style, tactics and strategy. However, as much as I, do have California love for where a lot of this originated, and I'm also, and then then a couple of years later, here come Dynasty guys. That's a story I could spend hours talking about, this entire thing. But the point I would like to, we can talk and go as deep as you guys want, as the chat wants. But I just want to say that because I've seen European paintball, I've been to Tahiti, I've been to Japan, I've been to all these different places. I've watched all these different, people when they come to the World Cup and seen every bit of, haven't been everywhere, but I've seen pretty much all of the, styles and types of paintball players from all over. And what's I think is really cool is that it really, the rising tide of those skills has reached everywhere. And then now it's about who's working the hardest and is diligent enough about keeping their assassin's knife sharp and their battle axe ready and durable to go into these bigger wars that are tournaments, to be able to play through a tournament to win events. Does that make sense to you guys, the metaphors that I'm trying to break down right now?
Yeah.
Because you need an assassin's knife and you need a battle axe. You don't just need one weapon. You have to have multiple weapons when you go out there, and you have to have, this warrior philosopher's mind in order to prevail in these tournaments, especially if you have to do it long term. You guys are both coaches. Ryan, you're arguably the GOAT. In my book, you're the GOAT, as far as your career that you've had. And then Spicka, I've been so highly, not proud like I'm your dad, but proud to see you come as far as you have, as long as I've known you, to become a paintball mastermind in the conversations that we're able to have about the deeper end of paintball strategy. So you guys understand what I'm trying to talk about here. But everywhere has this now, and it's kind of been proven by who's been successful for the most part, but then it's this constant battle back and forth. That's why I find it interesting, is when we go to, when you go to the WCPPL, and you see the battles that are going down there, which I could spend a long time talking about. And then you go to Texas and you watch, these regional rivalries you have within Texas. And then you get the South and you got the guys people coming in trying to take Texas money because, Texas is the mecca of paintball, which I'm not even putting that in scare quotes. I'm putting in scare quotes for the dudes from New Orleans, for the dudes from Florida. Because the dudes from Florida and New Orleans are like, fuck that. Oh, Texas is the mecca of paintball? Fuck you guys. We're going to come in and take all your money. And some of those guys have. At some of these events in that elite division. And it's a cool story. It's cool to watch. And it's kind of cool to see as it's evolved. The one thing that has, before I'll throw it back to you guys or to the chat for any questions, but what's super cool about it is the regional rivalries. What also is super cool about it is that, man, when I go out and watch a D5, when I used to be, when D5 would show up on the main field, 15 years ago, I'd be like, fucking here we go. We're going to watch a bunch of dudes running out looking like rental players here. You know what I'm saying? And now, D5, these guys, a lot of them passed the eye test. They can shoot right and left-handed. They got that, they have a flowing state
D5 at WC is ripping bounce shots, close everything down, operations.
Bro, yeah, there's no dudes out there doing the Kentucky left-hand. There's guys in the pro division. There's dudes in the Paintball Hall of Fame that have less technical ability than some dudes in D5. Mm-hmm. But I always tell the D5 guys, I'm like, but dudes, guys, this is not what it's all about. This doesn't win you paintball tournaments. This wins you paintball tournaments, okay? I don't care how awkward you look. If you're shooting 2 dudes a point, or what used to say through 2 dudes in a game back in the day, 3 dudes a game, you're a badass. You know, you could look like the coolest dude in the world with the drippiest of drip, with the flashiest shit ever, and go out there and your fucking head peeled off because you can't use your brain to think through the changing variables and read the patterns out there. And that's what this game is about. It is also about looking fly as fuck too, and being super cool out there too. You know, like that's definitely part of paintball, because I see all the drippiest of the drip is like, look behind Kyle and Ryan right now. Like, look at all the fresh shit they have in their background. It's always impressive. When you walk into Doghouse Studios, you're always like, damn.
Yeah,
look at all these
in here.
Like, look at all these HORMESIS headbands. Look at all these relics out here. Look at his badass autococker. Anyway, so I'm just saying, I was going on a rant here, so I didn't have a chance to read the chat, but
that's what I was talking about, though. That's what I wanted.
Yeah,
we love it.
I'm down with the rants, and anyone that doesn't want some rants from me or to go off, I'm sorry, this is not the episode for you.
Yeah, and
So,
I'm sorry for all of you guys from New Orleans. We don't always share the same viewpoints as our guests on the show, so you can direct any hate messages directly to Maddie.
No, I was saying that
Just joking.
the New Orleans guys, dude. Hey, New Orleans Smoke is ranked 2nd in Elite X-Ball currently. They took a 2nd at the first one, a 3rd at the second one, and then a 5th. That fell off a little bit, and then it's Jesse Stevens who's leading the Gunners from San Antonio, who are 1st, 7th, 1st. You know, so it's that's an interesting rivalry going on right there. And I talked to Jesse a little bit about that because he plays for Kyle for the TJ Bastards, you know, in the
So
WCPBL.
he's stacking them up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you guys have just been, you personally and all the teams that they've been stacking them up out there. As TJ Bastards are the team to beat currently
and the Lords
in the
guys,
Premier
D4
Division.
And
too.
Lords back to back.
Yeah, back to back to back to back. Shit, you need to get a shirt. You need some merch, Kyle.
Yeah, I should make a shirt. Because I don't know if that...
Well, you need to make.
I need to launch a coaching platform like LJ
Get-
Woodley
we
maybe right now.
You should do is get James from Island Designs to print you some triple back-to-back T-shirts for the next event. If you win, you'll have them ready. If you don't, you send them to Africa.
You're so right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you send them to Africa. That's where you send all this stuff when people don't win.
You're right. I should do that.
I swear I was there one time and it said like Dallas Cowboys like NFL champs in this year, and I'm like, they don't win the Super Bowl that year. What's going on here? And then I guess they ship all that stuff, all that merch out to, yeah.
Dude, I was going to say something they just did while I was at WC on Saturday. It's a new system on PB Leagues. But instead of like when you go to like look at who you're going to play into, there's a tree now.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Super helpful.
Yeah, that is very helpful.
Because I
All
don't
right, so-
ever understand what it's like. Semi-pro or not.
Yeah.
Or like
It's
semi-quarterfinals
quarterfinal
one.
8 versus the
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm finishing or where I'm at. Yeah, that was always really.
What were you about to
helpful.
say, Maddie?
No, I'm just wondering where you guys want to go with this, because there's this. I guess so it has impressed me over time with the constant and relentless. It's kind of like water hitting a rock. No matter what, that rock, like I would say, we just went to Cabo. All right, so I was just in Cabo. I was in Cabo as a younger person and saw the arch. You guys, Ryan, I'm sure you've seen the arch. Kyle, I don't know if you've been down there to see the arch. Did you ever get to see the arch at the end of land, as they call it, basically where Baja California comes all the way down? There's this really cool rock formation.
No.
And then it comes
I
around.
thought you were
and
talking
then
about the
that's-
arch in St. Louis. I've been in there a couple times.
No,
You've
so
seen
this
the
is-
arch in Cabo. You've been
Oh,
to Cabo.
yeah. Carl's
Okay,
seen the arch.
so okay, that arch no longer exists.
What?
It's gone. It fell apart.
Dang. Scott almost drowned out there one time we were there.
But so over time, constantly, rocks are going to be getting beat up by weather. Over time, things like baseball, football, paintball, whatever, pick your athletic pursuit, because of our mirror neurons in our mind, human beings will watch other human beings and emulate and see what they do. As soon as somebody figures out a trick, somebody else is going to figure out that trick, figure out a technique, someone else is going to master that technique. And over time, things progressively get better, which is why world records continue to fall. We do eventually run up against human biology and physics, but it's always kind of one of the fascinating things about sports is, okay, what does that actually mean? Where is that limit, right? With paintball, we're not there yet, and it's just constantly we're seeing, people get better and better. So over time, it's going to be more about, as we move forward, this is already just blatantly apparent now, but it's really not about this. This is to put this to a point as far as evidence is concerned. If you look at who's, people ask me all the time, oh, when's the next generation come in and knock that, when a dynasty going to retire this and that, or blah, 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 impact and some of these guys. I'm like, whenever you guys knock them out, bro, and make it so they can't play anymore. Ryan Greenspan will play till he's 55 if you let him, because he's mastered the game. In his mind, you see the patterns now, and you figured it out. So as long as your body will let you do it, you'll keep doing it until some kid who may be, could be twice as fast as you. It doesn't matter if he's getting shot. He's losing dumb gunfights, engaging for no reason in high body situations. It's like, what are we doing with this pattern recognition, understanding the strategy and tactics given the moment, right? So but the physical skill, the running and shoot, the easy stuff, the running and shooting, the snap shooting, the stuff that you can just go out, pretty much do a drill anywhere where there's open ground, you can shoot a paintball gun, all that has become way better. However, I'm still watching drastic fuck ups as far as what is happening in mental decisions. We just went to now it happened in the WCPPLs as well too. Now, I will give both of these, everyone that was involved in these paintball crimes credit, a little excuse though, because of how hot it was. But we still keep seeing guys, they'll be down by 1 with a minute and a half left, and there's 4 guys left alive at the end of the point, down by 1, sometimes in the finals. That's a paintball crime. That is committing the cardinal sin of paint. What are you doing? Like, you didn't even try? You just ran to your bunker and just shot your gun for a minute and a half, down by 1 in the finals? What are we doing? The only excuse for that is exhaustion. So, I'm still seeing a lot of that. That all could get a lot better on the divisional side of things, which is why you should hire a coach, or you should bring some veterans in to help you guys out. And you see the teams that are doing that are more often than not the teams that are succeeding. It's an easier road, like, do you want to choose the harder road on purpose or the easier road? So anyway, but it is really cool to watch over time to see the technical skills, see a ton of parity in the technical skills, because just in technical skills alone, we used to have a lot of a big advantage back in the day on some of these other guys that didn't have that, so, which again, I feel, in California, we were way ahead of the curve on that historically. I'm definitely biased, but prove me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, well, at the same time, though, there was a lot of back and forth battle, but no, I think you're right, and I don't know what it is. I wonder what is the drive there, or what is it, the player pool, or is it the economy, or I wonder what that is, that contributing factor is that bumps one of those other regions, the Texas or the Florida, kind of up a little bit, to get them above, to get the skill set above where it was. And it's not innovation, right? I don't know that it's innovation. Obviously, the Russians stand out as their practice regimen, from a player's, like, as far as the pro side. But I think from the divisional side, like, what if we put the top 10 from each division across all 3 of Hinman's leagues? Who's going to come out?
Yeah.
Like, that would be cool to do, like, a invitational.
That is cool, but it's also you're not comparing apples to apples, because people ask me all the time, hey, Maddie, what does, the elite division compare to this? That's a little bit different. But the premier division in the WCPPL and the NXL, when you compare those are not apples to apples, because if we go to the NXL, the TJ Bastards, the #1 team in the WCPPL, well, the TJ Bastards are not going to have some of their players. The TJ Bastards are not going to have Kyle Spicka as a coach. They're not going to have
Jesse.
They're not going to have Jesse Stevens at this point. Because I think that's because did you have Arietta? You still have Arietta?
But he's at Aftermath.
Yeah, because you're not going to have Arietta anymore, so they're going to go play for the pro team. So unless they want to go play pro, now I would say, based on what I've seen, at the top of the premier, so the teams that have won. So if we're looking at, teams that have done well in the past couple years, this is kind of everybody, like whatever teams I've just seen really do well, the top 10 at least. I would say that they would match up really nicely with the lower end of the pro division. So take the bottom 5 teams. If you take the bottom 5 teams of and we can totally argue about this. You can tell me I'm an idiot and that we disagree for sure. We could discuss it, but just based on what I've seen, I think that the top premier teams, if you could have a Kyle Spicka coaching against, well, it wouldn't be San Diego Dynasty because you guys are, part of the top, you're not in the bottom 5. But I think if we took the bottom 5, you could argue maybe the bottom 7 pro teams and put them against the top 4 on any given weekend. So take the top 4 of the WCPPL event, let them rest for a weekend, and then play them against, even if you had, clones playing against clones. Like we're going to take Jesse Stevens play against Jesse Stevens, and have them play against each other. I think that they would match up pretty nicely against the bottom 7 in the pro division. Really the bottom 5, but the bottom 7, I would say, because, we're seeing some of these, because it's tough. I mean, I've been watching the Jesse Stevens and the Hosky. It's not like Hosky and Jesse Stevens and GZ Sakaguchi are out here, shooting 5 guys a point. And I mean, again, this is no disrespect to those guys at all. This is more of just an understanding of the reality of how good the talent is over there. Because when you look at some of these teams, it's a lot of the teams have either former pros, the guys that can't practice all the time and commit themselves to like a full-on season in the NXL anymore, or they did for a long time and maybe they just kind of aged out for kids or job reasons or whatever, but they can make the events every year. You got the young up-and-comers that just haven't maybe found a spot on a team from the West Coast because maybe they're West Coast guys. It's kind of one of those situations. So that's again, I could further discuss that a little bit more, make it a little more fleshed out. But that's kind of my gist on it, as far as my read on it. Do you guys agree, disagree? What do you think?
So let me. Yes, I do agree with that. And so now, what I'm saying is, let's talk about what if Hinman did an invitational. So what he's got the WCPPL, the USXBL, and what's the one in Florida? Or is it the same one?
No, it's the US. No, I think it's the USXBL Florida.
Well, anyway, okay. So anyway, he's got 3 leagues. What if we took the top 10 from each division, or even just the top 5? And we didn't put them in NXL. They just did an invitational event in whatever. Choose your date. Who's coming out on top? Are the Bastards coming out on top on that one?
That's not even a question. That's not. And again, no disrespect but the reason why that's not a question is because if you let's just take a map of the United States, okay? And if you overlay. You could do this with a picture at night. Just literally look at a picture of the United States at night, taken from space. And where are all the lights? All the lights are on the East Coast, and then they're on the West Coast. Okay, so the reason why, and again, sorry guys, I'm going to drop some historical and geological shit in sometimes. So
let's
sometimes
educate the people.
No, I know. Sometimes people are like, I just can't. Matty Marshall with his historical references. Yeah, well, sorry, dude. Again, the show is not for you if you don't like these occasionally. The reason why that is the United States is that way is because you'll reach a certain point as you go across the United States where you can no longer water crops by rainfall alone. Okay, and so as we settled this continent, there's now we can do that. And we invented air conditioning, and people didn't even live in Phoenix or here out where I live in San Diego. This was a ghost town until AC was invented. But point is, the population centers are on the East Coast. The bulk of our population is on the East Coast. So the way that tournament paintball has evolved there, and the reason why NXL/Major League Paintball doesn't come as twofold, that we don't come out to the West Coast, is because, one, we need a really big place to have the tournament, and that's expensive, okay? So when you come out to the West Coast, there's less teams out here than there are in the Midwest and in the East Coast to draw from, because now because now it's gonna be more expensive for the Midwest and the East Coast teams to come out here. So and the NXL has to haul all their logistical gear, all the infrastructure has to all come to the West Coast, or they have 2 different sets. These are 2 very expensive propositions to do. To have another set out here constantly, or to haul it to the West Coast. So over time, even though we've done Vegas, historically national tournaments have done, different, the PSP and NPPL and NXL, they've done events out here. But it is, it's like people are always, oh, why is there a Huntington Beach? Huntington Beach lost money every single time. If you're a billionaire and you want to do a Huntington Beach, hit me up. All right, we'll make that
Let's run
happen.
it.
However, you're going to lose money. It's not going to make you any money. Sorry. Maybe the first one will. Maybe if you charge an exorbitant entry fee, but it's probably not going to make you money. And unfortunately, how the modern world works, and if you're young, if you're old, you already know this. If you're young, this is going to be a harsh smack in the face for you, but I don't care how cool you think something is. If it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense, and it's not going to exist for long. Okay?
Unless you're a publicly traded company.
Well,
and you say data center, compute.
but investment is different than losing money. So yes, your big tech unicorns, the Ubers, the Amazons, a lot of those did not make money for a long period of time, but they were funded by people with a shit ton of capital because they knew over time the meta of the world was changing, and eventually those things would print fucking money. And Amazon prints fucking money right now. Okay? So again, welcome to the reality of the world. We can either get angry at that or we can deal with it as it is. That's a little side quest of a conversation here. The point of it is that there is no apples to apples comparison there, but because the NXL does not come to the West Coast, then now you have this own scene that's developed here. So you have pros from the and also Hyman has no interest in competing with the NXL. Like Mike Hyman he's got his own thing going on, and God bless the regional scene because it will eventually create teams that do want to feed into the NXL. Which is the bigger, he'll say it if he was on here. He'd be like, absolutely. I've had this conversation with behind the scenes and no cameras around. He's like, man, I have no interest in competing with the NXL. And he intentionally will make sure he schedules around the NXL. But now that's created its own scene because now you have Kyle Spicka can coach, Ryan Greenspan can coach, I can coach. You have Jesse Stevens can play, GJ Sakaguchi can play. Hosky can play, Cyrus can play, all these different dudes that have been flown out here. Some of the semi-pro guys you get, all these different dudes that can come out and play, which is rad. But what that means is if we did an invitational and the TJ Bastards show up to play against the elite division in Texas, I will put the house on the fact that the TJ Bastards win that tournament because that's the premier division. Premier is like semi-pro. The elite division is like elevated D3. Okay, so it is what it is. That's the top of the Texas League, and then I think I don't have as much experience with the modern version because I've been out there in years, but I think that the Florida. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I think the Florida situation is the same. So I just don't. If they did an invitational where it was everyone can kind of come, it would and the premier teams actually can play. It would be better if the premier teams couldn't play and it was just D3. Because then you have the Supremes and the other teams in D3 that are that are the top franchises down there, and then that's an apples to apples comparison.
Okay, so then let's just go down to what's the next D3, right? Is D3 the next D3 D4? No, let's take the upper echelon out. Let's just take the teams that are in the top in their respective categories that don't have like that that crossover.
Elite looks D3 for Florida.
Or so I guess Lords, would be the D4 category. Yeah, because Elite's D3.
Well, no,
no, but for Florida, I was just looking at the top one of Florida's Elite.
Okay, if you're looking at Florida, I'm looking at California right now, and it's been not completely all over the place, but. You have Collision. So Collision has a tribe out here. I mean, they have a ton of teams. Out of SC Village. They had no premier teams at this one, but teams in every other division, and they're always competitive. We're through 3 events now and a couple from last year. I mean, I haven't been doing I've been to the WCPPLs for all the years they've been happening, but Collision is a force to be reckoned with. That they're currently the number 1 team. The Lost Dutchmen are pretty close though, at second place, but they haven't won one. A second, a fifth, and a fourth. The OTL Athletics, which used to be Miami Effect, they changed their name and they're now working with Patty Gleason. They're in third, and then Supreme, they were under Greg Sewers, but they keep flying out a lot of the awesome Texas guys. They had Chavez and Johnny Luca out there. They got again, dude. Texas is. I really respect what Texas has going on because there's it's about the. So yes, you could look at Texas as a whole, as the mecca. You could argue, based on the. I mean, you could argue it as the mecca for sure, because you have these hubs, right? Mostly Dallas, San Antonio, Houston has its own thing going on too. But then I keep seeing some of these teams that keep getting deep, and they're from kind of the sticks, and then a lot of the teams that come in there are also from other parts of the South. So it's not just Texas, it's the South as a whole. So shout out to all our Southern boys, because you're definitely, and I'll use this term to fit your verbiage, but y'all are doing some work out there, because it is very impressive what the South has been looking like just as a whole. It's not just Texas, but yeah, Houston has really good teams that have been there constantly, that I keep seeing pop up. And then the San Antonio squads, the Gunners obviously, doing really well. And then, PB Fit in Dallas. And then also they have that former giant paintball park. Can't remember what it's called now, but, Billy Saranci and Mark took it over. But that's an awesome hub of competition as well too. So yeah, man, but it also goes to the socioeconomic situation of paintball as well too. It's impossible to have this discussion without having the socioeconomical discussion as well. Do you guys want to discuss that a little bit? Or
I want to see Houston Homicide versus the Lords. I'm looking at it right now. Very similar score total. First, and a fourth. That's what I'm looking for right there. There it is. Yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at
Yeah, but the Lords are D4. I mean, honestly,
I'm looking at the D4 USXBL rankings.
Okay, but here's the deal. The Lords though are a team, and Kyle, I mean, this is more your purview because you're the coach, but the Lords are looking a little more D3-ish to me than they are D4, just because of the way that the decisions they've been making. The big difference between all of these divisions, we just talked about this earlier. If I were to take somebody that does no idea what paintball is at all, and I show them a D5 player, I'll pick the D5 guy. Let me pick the D5 guy, and then let's pick Keith Brown. Let's pick Tyler Harmon. Let's pick MVPs from just recent MVPs. Let's pick those guys. Mm-hmm. And I show them just playing paintball, they would have no idea the difference between Tyler Harmon and whatever pick I pick from D5. They're just not going to be able to understand the subtle differences in gunfight knowledge, gunfight logic, bunker, just overall paintball IQ. However, that is the difference. That's really the difference. And so, I mean, but that's kind of the same with everything, dude. If you take some dude, if you take Bryce Harper when he was 17 years old and just about to go into the major leagues and no one knows baseball and have him swing the bat, and then have someone else that's literally whoever won the home run crown that year and have him swing the bat, you're like, yeah, dude, these baseball studs. So there's the difference is all up here. So when I look at the Lords and man to man how they're starting to make their decisions, I'm like, yeah, there's the reason why they won. They're going to go either, D3 next year. Hopefully they're on a premier track to go premier eventually. But then it always comes down to time and funding, so it's, and that's that's the thing. And it reminds me of when Travis Lemansky from Pro DNA, he came out to a WCP Bell event last year. And he was like, he goes, what did he say? He was stoked to be out there and they did pretty well. And he's like, well, because every time I see my friends at the booth, I'm like, hey, first of all, hey, how you doing? How are your kids doing? Kind of bullshit a little bit. And it's like, how's the booth doing? And we, whatever, we go back and forth about just standard stuff. And then we just kind of talk shop a little bit. And he was like, yeah, the scene's a little older than I remember it. And I said, yeah, but it's more sustainable because the divisional teams that I've worked with and most of the divisional teams I've seen, everyone's kind of worked like, and how the scene has evolved is that paintball really is no longer, this seems to be the same thing in Texas and in at least the times I've been out to Florida to do the divisional stuff, it's been a couple years, but you definitely still see it on the national circuit as well too, is that it is, because there was it's evolved to its original form. Or sorry, maybe it's kind of come back as a circle. So when paintball first began, there were no kids playing paintball. When I was 16 years old and I went out to a paintball park in 1994, there were no kids there. It was just the kids that we brought. That was it. It was grown men with grown men jobs playing war. That's what paintball was. And that's kind of now what it is again. You know, it's more of the sport element of the playing war, but it is definitely come back to guys that, you know, yeah, maybe they like golf and maybe they do it too. Maybe they like competitive softball and they do that as well. Maybe they ride motorbikes as well, but the fix that they get from paintball, they can't get from anywhere else. And they got you know, they're an electrician or they own a business or they work or whatever. They got a grown-ass man job. And they got families and there's tons of kids out there. Sometimes the wives are out there too. And, you know, but it's just evolved into, my opinion, based on the macroeconomical situation, it has evolved into a much more sustainable thing than it was when we were all chasing that dream, when it was just everyone, just all of a sudden, when you know, because if you're if you go back to the early 2000s, and paintball was a relatively new thing at the time, and if you're, you know, somebody that's sitting at an investment firm and you're kind of looking at growth, right? So you're looking at, okay, well, here's this exponential growth curve, and we're looking at what's possible. Ooh, in extreme sports, X Games, this and that. Like, what's the next skateboarding? And they kind of looked at paintball, and all of a sudden, here came a ton of money just flooding into the sport, you know. And also at the same time, the sport was completely evolving. So we had gone from the woods to hyperball to airball all within 3 years. 3 years, you know. So it was brand new. So in that time, you saw this big influx, and also tons of new product lines were being created. Like the modern sport itself was like the Cambrian explosion, you know. Like, Google that if you guys don't know what it is. It basically is like a giant explosion and a rapid multiplication of the different types of life forms that existed. That was what was happening to paintball at that time. Contracted in the late 2000s. And then eventually kind of came back to its current form. Again, that's a 5-hour-long conversation in and of itself. However, that's where paintball is. And that's honestly where it should be right now, you know, because that's sustainable. And that's a good thing. Because you have, and I think, honestly, I think it's, as long as it can be exposed, and I think where paintball kind of needs to go is that, you know, so I'm Gen X, on the tail end of Gen X, millennial. And then, you know, then you have a lot of millennials. So, you know, Ryan, you're a millennial. I'm pretty sure you're a millennial too.
1990.
Kyle. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you're millennial. So, but now we're kind of heading into this next era where it's like, I look at these younger kids where they're, especially with COVID, like they live in this incredibly fucking soft world where it's insane how soft that world is. And I see guys like let's take Rodney Squires' kid, for instance. Jake Squires, that dude has his head screwed on real straight, man. Like, he's got it dialed. He plays football. He's real smart. He's seeking new knowledge bases and new experiences. You know, like, his whole generation could benefit. Like, if we could, and this isn't gonna happen, but like if I was king of the world, I would force everyone to play. I would force you to do. You have to take a jiu-jitsu. You have to do it. You have to play sports. However, you have to do very specific sports. You have to take jiu-jitsu. You have to at least take one jiu-jitsu class. You have to box. Boxing is head trauma, but you have to at least do a couple rounds in the ring. Everyone should know what it's like to be punched in the face. It would drastically benefit your soul, and it would make our entire world we'd have a lot less idiots out in the world if everyone knew what it's like to be punched in the face. And then with paintball, it's kind of this awesome mix of things, because your body doesn't, unless you dive wrong or something bad happens, like, you're not taking a ton of trauma, but your mind is. Your mind is forced into a traumatic experience because it doesn't know that real bullet. And when you first start playing, it has no idea. Your brain is like, you've ever seen, like, I've hosted celebrity paintball events where multi-million-dollar athletes are out there looking like rental players. These are dudes that get paid $10, $15, $20 million a year to play a professional sport, and they look like they are lost out there, completely lost, scared to get shot. You know, dudes that were no fear at all of running headlong into another 300-pound dude, and they do that all day, every day, but now I'm scared to get shot. You know, so it's just a fascinating thing. So if I was king of the world, I'd force everyone to play paintball. So it's one of those things that once you do it and you realize, like, oh my God, this is like something I can't get anywhere else. I just think that as long as that's exposed to enough people that particularly, you know, women can play it too, but men really need something like this in their lives. And I really have seen it drastically benefit their lives. And it's just been an amazing thing. Women too. You know, we'll take everyone, man. I don't care who, all creeds, all religions, like, it doesn't matter. But there's a certain demon that kind of does, and I've said this before, there's certain demons that live in a man's soul and House Bill 7 publicly funded paintball fields. Yeah, our world would be a better fucking place. If we could publicly fund paintball fields, the world would be a better place. 100%. Prove me wrong. Somebody, let's argue about it. Does anyone want to argue about this? I don't think we're going to get one on this chat that's going to argue about this, but
No.
I would definitely argue with my mom would probably back in the day would have disagreed, but I think she would come around at this point in time.
I mean, I think it's undeniable that like I mean, I'm trying to get Sloan into like a martial art, just straight from a discipline, and not because she needs to get punched in the face, but I mean maybe she does, but
Everyone needs it
sometimes. But I just think that from the discipline side of things, and I think in there the team sport, the team aspect of the sport is incredibly important, and I think that the kids now, this soft generation, is kind of born from the generation right before. There's a lot of soft parents that maybe felt like they didn't accomplish enough, so they feel that there's two things that need to happen with their kids, and one of which is they always need to win. This always award situation is like ridiculous, like absurd.
Don't even get me started. Yeah,
Let's problem with I got it on my map here for the conversation of what we're talking about. You said that you said what's on the agenda. So I drew this this diagram right here. Starting with
is it a flow chart?
Here, yeah, it's a flow chart.
Diagrams
right?
of flow charts.
Yeah. So we went through Cabo, which is crazy. I had it on there, and then we talked about crime, and then there's Millennium. So now we're back over to what sports. So we're just gonna go back and draw that arrow over there because now we're up this side. We're good. We'll go ahead and frame this and put this in the Speak and Span show later.
I don't know. You have to. We have to remember at all times that I'm talking to you right now, and we're sitting here, this crazy technology, and I got air conditioning keeping at least my house cold. But so we live in this world where there's very little real danger. You know, like our cars have even become, like I have friends that are firefighters. I know you do too. And you talk about like, oh, well, it's like, dude, some of these new cars are just covered in pillow. Like everything has become so safe, and we have less kids, so it's like, if you only had a couple kids, you're trying to keep those kids as safe as possible at all times. I look at how I was one of two, but it just, I am a salty old asshole. And I was raised in the generation where it was like, they were making commercials to remind you had kids and they were out somewhere maybe. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Like, we were just set off into the wilderness, like I lived off a canyon, and they were just like, yeah, come home when the lights turn on, come home for dinner. That was it. We had no phones. They had no way to contact us. We're out there like lighting fires in the canyon and killing birds with BB guns and talking to homeless people. Like, I mean, we were just doing the craziest stuff, trying to like intimidate other groups of kids. And it was just, I just look at that.
My kids do right now when Camille's away.
If Sloan makes it through, she's going to be a much better person for it. But that's kind of the thing, right? It's scary. And even though the world has gotten statistically safer, we've gotten way more risk averse with everything, period. And that's just not how human beings conquered the planet. And so you have a species that conquered the planet, and then now we've conquered the planet. It's like, yeah, dude, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't really want to go outside. I got all you can eat.
My food gets delivered
services. To me. Yeah, I can order shrimp ceviche from Uber Eats. I got my Vaughn's order delivered for groceries for the week. I got to watch the new Game of Thrones show. Somebody's going to mow my lawn for me. And I work remote.
I got to take my estrogen pills.
And I work remote, so it's like, oh, cool. If you really don't want to and you're smart enough, you don't have to do a fucking thing ever to leave your house. And all of your ancestors are collectively rolling over in their graves. Like, that is not how we got here. So, but that's what I love about paintball, because you got to go out to SD Village when it's 100 degrees if you want to go do that thing. So there's a bunch of younger kids on the Alliance D4 team, and it's cool to kind of see the progression just the past season and a half. Some of these dudes are going from 17 to 19, some from 19 to 21. I'm kind of watching some of these kids grow up a little bit, and I know there's probably a lot of people in the chat that have seen this in some of their situations, but I just really truly feel that we have to, and it doesn't have to be paintball. It can be you know, but there's a physical element. There's a pain response to the game of paintball that is unlike some of these other things, you know, other than other things that are going to potentially give you more trauma, that are, you know, statistically more dangerous. But that was kind of, I mean, literally American football was invented because I'm boring the shit out of Kyle. That's why he had to go.
No. He's grabbing a nectar.
But no, it's like, is that, you know, literally American football, the game that's the, you know, yeah, baseball's the American pastime, but football's, you know, the most important one because it makes the most money.
Yep.
And it's followed by the most people. That game was invented in the late 1800s because you had a bunch of dudes that grew up rough and had to fight in wars, and then now they're successful businessmen in the Ivy League on the East Coast, and their sons are soft as, you know, as the ice cream that my kids were eating unlimited on this cruise ship that we were just on, and they wanted to make sure that their kids understood that the world, you know, kind of you need a little bit of a hard shell on you if you're going to actually do anything of substance,
as they say.
Yeah, so it's incredibly important for us to understand that that is reality. It's incredibly important for you to do something about that, and that's why when I go to a paintball field and I meet these dudes, especially the younger guys, you know, and I don't even mean not the teenagers. All those teenagers, they either got there because their parents are still paying for it. The guys that are really impressing me, and some of these dudes that I've met the past couple of seasons, are these dudes that are in their mid-20s that have and there's different stories. And we should be profiling some of these guys, to be honest. Is that these are guys that a lot of them blue collar, you know, maybe they, you know, do HVAC for a living, or they're plumbers, or they just got out of the military and now they started whatever. Like there's also white collar guys too that need to get out, you know, like, I mean, shit, Pate Smith, dude, God bless Pate Smith, dude, Pate Smith, that motherfucker's a lawyer, bro. And he's out there battling on the weekends, dude. Like, he was
in the finals at Cincinnati, dying.
He won. He's had some really good showings. He looked really good.
His new nickname is the Cajun Sensation, by the way.
Yeah, no. So it goes both ways, right? Whether you need an outlet for it and whatever it may be. And again, women too. And the kids are a little bit different because the kids, like, you know, if you want your kid to play paintball, you're gonna have to pay for that because the sponsorships are just not there anymore, man. Like if you had unless your kid's a phenom. If your kid's a phenom, like, because this is a keep what you kill, you know, this is a pirate shit mentality, man. Like, we want, if we're trying to take prizes, then we need killers. And so if your 17-year-old shows up at a dynasty practice and he's shooting three dudes a point, guaranteed he's going to play free paintball. You know, like, we'll see how good he could be, you know, but like, look at Thomas Hara. Thomas Hara shows up at the first event for Legion, and but he's in his mid-20s, so he's not a 17-year-old, but still, you know, so he's a grown-ass man. But, you know, he gets into that situation and he just fucking thrives, dude. It's like, oh, pressure situation. Oh, best in the world trying to gun for me now because you watched a couple points and now I'm on everyone's radar. Fuck you. This is my tournament, dude. I'm going to single-handedly help my team win this tournament. Let's go. You know, so it's that shit like that is awesome. But yeah, shout out to the dudes that are in their mid-20s, that are just, you know, they're starting to make their way in the world. It's probably a little bit easier for some of the dudes because some of them have kids, some of them don't. I've just met a decent amount of them. So please keep introducing yourself to me if you're out there and you're listening to this, but because we got to collect these stories. But that's really cool too, because that just makes paintball a little bit more sustainable. And that's the truth of the matter, you know, because it's my desire to have paintball be the biggest thing in the world, or have people understand all these things that I feel not that I understand, but that I believe. You know, and the importance of this specific activity, you know, it doesn't mean shit, dude, because at the end of the day, it's about getting people out to the field, you know, so you know, for me sitting here, you know, huffing and puffing, you know, about how awesome this is. It's like, you know, we're all just molecules in this great body politic that is the game of paintball, the sport that is paintball. And, you know, and the people that are carrying a lot of weight are the people that are running teams, the people that are running fields, running companies. Those people carry a lot of weight because they're kind of the prime movers, you know. They're you know, if we're looking at it as a molecule, they're kind of like that, you know, that molecule that's like giving energy to the rest of the other molecules doing stuff, you know. So it's really impressive.
Dude, I love it.
Sorry.
This is excellent. No, this
going
is
off
great,
right
dude.
now.
People are going off in the chat. That everybody's having a blast. Before we get into, because I see Pate in here too. Before we get to the Pate Smith move of the event for the last one, I want to go with the BFP Gear question of the day. This one's actually just as simple as it gets. We're gonna talk about the brackets that are coming up for the Dallas event. I have them pulled up here on the screen. We'll put them down. Yeah, the pro draw. What do you think? Like, I kind of like how the new bracket system is, where you're not playing the same team every single event. You know, there's a couple of back-to-back kind of things here, but just from I'll put it down actually right under here. From your point of view, looking at it, what do you seeing here?
Okay, so we got Group A with Impact, Dynasty, Ironman, Sea Dogs, and Leverage. How do you want to do this? I
think the best way to do it is bracket of death. I think that's what everybody loves. That's the one right there.
Okay,
What do we think bracket of death is?
Well, hold on. Can I go use the restroom, I forgot to bring my water. Can I go grab my water, and then we'll get into the bracket of death?
Thermometer.
Don't forget to pull the thermometer out.
I'll go grab it on the way and see how hot it is in here.
Oh,
Give me a
okay.
second.
I thought you keistered it.
Bro, I'm not trying to. Unless it's medicine, I'm not putting anything.
The real test of how hot it is in there is if it's increasing your internal body temperature. So it's not hot until your body temp is increasing.
Look, I may be pale, but we are still tropical creatures. We evolved for millions of years down in the tropics. We do with heat really well. That's why we have sweat glands. So again, it's more people die. Look this up. This is everyone's like, oh, climate change, this and that. Like, yeah, that is a real thing. Of course, the changing climate is going to constantly be a real deal. But more people die from extreme cold every year than extreme heat. So I'm fine. I'll be right back.
Yeah. No. Check it. Plus we got AC. We can talk about evolution.
He puts medicine where?
I think as he takes his medicine, it's
I think he said
I only put medicine.
I thought he said that.
Yeah,
it's only medicine. Only medicine.
Yeah. Huh. Well, we're taking a quick little break while Maddie's away. I want to give a
commercial.
Play a commercial. Actually, this is gonna be a commercial because I do want to give a shout out to. We're gonna be. This weekend we have off. Next weekend we are in PB Fit. This is weekend of the 15th and 16th. We'll be doing. I've actually got the link here. It's hydra.fit.
We should have wore hoodies and like sweatpants and stuff for the show to start training.
We've got next week. If you want, we can close all these windows and do that. If you want to train for the Champs X Ball in August 15th, you can play with me, Kyle. Ronnie Dizon will be there as well, and then we've got a hard point on the Sunday. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, hard point's that's a good time, dude. That's like I'm looking forward to that. The following weekend, then we're gonna be out at Black Ops in Myrtle Beach with Chad. Yeah. We're doing a 2-day event. Plus, there is a cosmic paintball event on the Saturday, and it's like a random draw. Right? So you get to play paintball back to back.
Dang.
Dude, you guys need to come out because it's not very often that we get to watch Kyle Spicka playing paintball these days. Mm-hmm. You got to be like high noon or 1 p.m. at the local field maybe. Mm-hmm. Then he's gonna jump in. But to get him on the actual court like competing, mm-hmm. Still got it. Still got it, baby. So yeah, we're gonna be. And that's the other thing. Stormweb. That's when I get to finish Peaky Blinders. Because while I'm on vacation on the airplane, I don't even sleep on the plane anymore. I literally just push play no matter what time my flight is in the morning, and I just burn through episodes.
Dude, speaking of, so I just watched Project Hail Mary. I'd only seen like part of it. Mm-hmm. Have you seen that?
No, I heard it. I wanted to see it. I heard it's kind of like.
From who'd you hear from? Scott?
I heard from Scott, but Scott had like 4 cocktails while he was trying to watch it, so I'm not sure that I really trust him.
But the next movie that started was that Masters of the Universe.
God, that movie was awful.
And it was playing. I was working on my computer, and I'm like, how was this funded? Like the Skeletor guy is like making bad jokes the whole time, and he's supposed to be like.
That's the only thing that made the movie actually watchable was the shitty jokes.
That was rough.
That was bad. So yeah, Peaky Blinders. I think I'm on season 5. I got that. We're gonna talk a little bit. I just finished Cape Fear, Friends and Neighbors. We're gonna get into the brackets here. But yeah, we've got PB Fit event 15th and 16th. You can register if you're in the Texas area or wherever. I know Texas. Bring
Maddie's
some of
probably
those.
coming to
Bring some of
announce-
those the Cajun goods. Bring some of the crawfish, Pate, from New Orleans. Hydra.fit/collection/mechx. You guys can sign up there.
Did you Maddie's coming to announce for that, he said.
Is he?
Yeah.
Dude, I hope so. Then what else do we have? Gen X Global is going to be releasing some new pods. Little lifesaver themes, so some new colors. We're going to get up, and they're also shipping us a ton of pods to give away. We're going to sign them, give them out to you guys. Also, I just remembered, and thank you, Paintball for Life. I believe Paintball's going to be on ESPN this weekend, on Saturday.
Yes. Yeah, Saturday.
So make sure, guys, set your reminders. Hey, Siri, set a reminder for Saturday that Paintball's going to be on ESPN.
You can't put that media picture that shows the brackets.
I got it right here. So anyway, yes, you guys, lots of stuff going on, and France is also at the end of the month. Big shout out to No Hope Photos and NECTR, a couple of the Team USA sponsored, my personal sponsor, the boys from No Hope Photos. We really appreciate all that. And what do we got? Ducati Ferrari. Fratelli. Oh, Furious. I've seen all that. Okay. I'm into that one too. And then, yes, scenario events. Decay of Nations. We're going to be there. Maddie, you going? You're going to be in Decay of Nations for sure. At least for one day.
I hopefully, I literally after this, my schedule is not perfectly set in stone right now, other than the big events. Like,
That sounds like a San Diego maybe.
Yeah, it's a hard. Yeah, like
that's a hard.
I've never seen I've never heard Maddie stutter like that before.
That's it. That's my answer too about me going.
Put it this way. Well, hold on. I like big games. Kyle doesn't.
I know that. That's why I figured it was gonna be easier for you to just be like, "Yo."
No, yeah, no, but I could say like, yeah, well, no, I could have given you the San Diego maybe or like the San Diego no, and probably maybe for sure I'll make it because it sounds like a good time, but I don't want to tell you what you're telling me. No, anyway, but I just without the kids and everything and schedule it after this past like 6 weeks, I need to take a hard look at the schedule and see if that's something I can do. You know, so
His audio's
wait,
good.
you can't hear me?
No, they can see you. You can hear. You're
me?
good. Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
No, they said they can't see me. I don't know.
You're good. We're good. It was just we pulled your bookshelf off while you were there, and it pulled the audio. So then we started talking shit, and then I think they only heard us, and then there was like a slight mumble from the computer. But yeah, anyway, we got the PB Fit, the Hard Point, and the Champs X Ball with Dizon, Kyle, myself, and a bunch of other guys, and then. And then we're going out to North Carolina, Myrtle Beach. Is it
South Carolina.
Whatever. One of the Carolinas.
Dude, we should ask about fireworks there too because we can get really.
Yeah, they're
really
those dudes.
ones.
The black op guys are we're gonna blow shit up.
Yeah, we gotta blow stuff up.
And then like I said, then we're going to we got practice at SC Village San Diego for the European layout. Then we got the European Nations Cup France, and then it's a weekend of practice. Then it's Dallas event. Then it's Decay of Nations. We got a packed schedule.
Your wife is stoked right now.
No, she can't hear me.
No, I know, but just in general with the schedule, she must be stoked.
Yeah, no, it's always. Yeah. I'm forever in the doghouse. It's
Yeah, but the trump card is you're always like, yeah, dude, you know what you signed up for.
That's
this
it.
Yeah.
You just didn't know how long you signed up for it.
Yeah, but I mean, at
I
that
can't
point,
help it that I still,
No, but at that point, I don't know, because let's just say the shoulder injury was so like it, and unfortunately Ryan Greenspan shoulder injury, he just could not come back from it here, and he had to
still has
transition
to
to
be
something
here.
else. But also, you're still okay. Cool. Now you have to go work events and just coach, and
I'm here.
and and then it'll heal up eventually, and then you still got to go be Ryan Greenspan other places. You know, it's just not. It doesn't end tomorrow. This is paintball too. We didn't stock enough money away that we can all just retire. You're not a baseball player, dude.
No, because we play paintball.
Yeah, this is not baseball. You can't just go play golf from here on out, and check your portfolio from time to time because you have enough money to pay people to do that. So yeah. Sorry, bro. Sorry, Camille.
Yeah, it's all right. Unless you're, some people can. So what are we thinking for the bracket of death? Let's talk about it.
Okay, yeah, let's pull it up here. All right, so
Yeah, and thank you, Tubbo. I'm home. I'm like dad. I'm dad of the year from like Monday until like Thursday night, Friday.
okay, how I like to do this is I get a quick, I've looked at these a little bit before and I've thought a little bit about this already, but typically I'll look at it and I'll just go, what am I thinking is the bracket of death as my initial gut reaction? It's not always that, but a lot of times it is. So in the first one, you have Impact Dynasty, Ironman, Royal City Sea Dogs, Leverage, Legion, so now it'd be Tauntaun's Collision, Aftermath Distortion, Damage, Uprising, Heat, Jungle Cat, Fit, X Factor, Hurricane, Shock, Extreme. My initial reaction is either A or C, and with Heat being down in C as well as they did at the last event, because they went 13, 19, 10th. So and then again, so then I'll go, because we know the top teams are the top teams. It's like, oh, who looks better? Impact, Legion, Damage, or Fit, and then Dynasty, Tauntaun's Upright. Okay, all those teams are going to be really good. So it's really more the bottom of the bracket that makes it the bracket of death. And I just think with how well, Heat did, because Sea Dogs right on the precipice. I would have to say, because Heat's made a Sunday, and they just did at the last event. Just based on numbers, I would have, and then Jungle Cats. I'd have to say C is probably the bracket of death. But then you have to go to the strength of 1 and 2. It's like, can Uprising continue to? Is Uprising now a top team? Are we going to see them making top 4, top 6s like constantly? So then you maybe go to, then you go to top 2 men. Maybe then maybe either D or A. I just don't. Group B is not the bracket of death. Group B is not the bracket of death. No. So I would.
I mean, look, without talking too much shit about them, I feel like NYX had some really good points that could have strung together some possible wins, and even going back into the their match against was it PB Fit in the MAO. I mean, I think they were putting points up on them.
Yeah, hold on. I have all the stats here in my tweaker notes, as my wife likes to call them. My tweaker notes.
I mean, at least you got like the pretty well drawn out borders.
Well, it's my own little system.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Because when we're live, I have to be able to glance at things quickly and be able to absorb. Plus, also, and the studies prove this, and this is kind of another thing as we're talking about things wrong with the world, is that you need to continue to write things out, read books, and write things out longhand. If you don't do those, you're basically not working out, you're not lifting weights, you're not eating right. I mean, it's in that category of importance for your mind moving forward, particularly.
Yeah, I made a little joke at the summer camp, and I was like, everybody should be taking notes. On a pad of paper, how do you guys take notes nowadays? Like, kids I don't think people write things anymore.
But no, yeah, Ryan, so you're right. So last game against Fit at the second event, New York Extreme lost 3-5, not a bad loss. But they finally won a game at the last event. So New York Extreme finally stepped up and were able to put a win on the board, and that kind of they had to get that 15th place, and that makes that 20th place a lot more interesting because they're at 62 overall points. Leverage at 116, and then Jungle Cats are at 159, and Distortion's at 178. Double points at Cup. I mean, everyone's kind of still on the bubble in the bottom 4 or 5 as far as who could get relegated. Because at the last event, they only lost to Uprising, who had an amazing event, by 2. Got blown out bad by X Factor, and then beat Aftermath by 2. Their first win of the year. So. Just something to keep in mind. As far as that bracket is concerned.
And I know we're going to get into the movie of the event, but I was surprised to hear that Harris's run through on that penalty play was not move of the event.
Hold on. No. We're not doing movie.
Oh wait, we're not doing that event. So he's still in the running. That's right. Okay, my bad.
We have a bit of time. Again, I've been very busy. I haven't had time to go through all the. I had the movie of the event before the last event for the event for MAO. We didn't do a show on that, but I have those.
Yep, we got
But
those.
but I haven't. I've gone through some of the tape, but in order for me, here's my problem, dude. Honestly, of all the things I have to do for paintball, this is my least favorite thing that I have to do. One, it's not actually a job for me. It's just something that I do.
The SPICKNSPAN show is?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of all. No, I like hanging out with you guys and chopping it up, but the thing is like for me to figure out, because it's apparently just my sole arbitrary decision to give them this money out, which puts a lot of weight on my soul. So I have to go back and just spend hours going through like all these moves, and it's just, which I mean, I watch a lot of, I got to rewatch the games anyway to do other things for it, but it's like that specifically, I have to like really dial in and rewatch every single move and go through every single move, and it's just.
You got to get maybe some like, committee, like a board together. Like could be the ref, the judge that sits in the Hawk's Nest.
You think we're gonna have the ref go through all the games? You think he's gonna do that?
You just gotta write them
No,
down.
you could just be like,
Just
hey,
piece of paper.
I
We're just talking about writing. Hey,
I
this was a
wrote
sick
them
move.
down, bro.
and then
When
you
it happened live.
ask the coaches that are in the.
Sick move, but better than the one before. Cross that guy out. Yeah.
Yeah, if someone else wants to take this over, that would be great for me because it's just
it.
a lot of extra work that I have to do.
You gotta
that I
find
don't get paid
some
for.
people that watch like every single game
Dude, Joey K.
on the webcast though too.
He's there watching them all. Dude, we'll get it. The Spick and Span show will gladly help out. Not take over, help out.
Here's
And
what
plus,
I need.
Alex might do it.
you've got the mental tenacity to do it.
Alex might do it. He watches a lot, right?
FRAIGE? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't trust his judgment after.
Yeah,
after
but
he's
here's
been at
the
center
problem
50
is
bar.
that if you have to sit in judgment over something like that, like, of course, we're all human. We all have our slight biases, but I really try to be as unbiased as I possibly can, as a human being possibly can when I watch these moves. I wait. So here's what because the metric is, it's not best move. That's the easy way to say it. Oh, best move, like, oh, you could put that on a billboard. But in reality, because if we really just get, like, what does that even mean, best move? It's paintball, dude. Like one move, it's not a move, it's moves, plural. Because in order for you to have a big dynamic impact on a point, because we play singular points. So we go out and one guy does one move. What does that even mean? Like just one little move? Oh, he just moved from bunker to bunker. He made one movement to shoot one guy. No, that's ridiculous. So the actual metric or the actual way of how I look at it is it's the best individual performance in 1 point. Okay, so here's the context is here's the situation. So basically, okay, so let's talk about Mid-Atlantic Open, right? So you have the guys that won, which we could talk about right now, but I'm looking at all these and I'm like, okay, as it's happening, I will try to do my due diligence and go down and kind of scribble as quickly as I can while I'm doing the call or while Todd's talking or whoever else talking, depending on the year that we had it up there. It'll be like Ryan Greenspan 0.4 versus so-and-so 3-pack question mark, because sometimes it's up there whether it was a 3-pack or a 4-pack or 5-pack or whatever. But and then based on its the gravity of it, because I want to have a list of highlights. But based on the gravity of it, it'll get basically like if it was pretty dope, it's the start of the one, it was like a garden variety 3-pack, I'll give it like a star. But if it's like
garden variety 3-pack,
like garden variety 3-pack, that gets like a star. But if it's, you're down points, down bodies, that's the pivotal moment in the game where if you don't do that, then, it doesn't, and then maybe you guys don't win, then that's when I'll put like 3 or 4 stars on it. And then I kind of collect those. And
you
then
should
I go
use
back
garden
and kinda,
vegetables.
I have
Like
some
stickers. We'll get you like those vegetable stickers. So like this could be like this is a Roma tomato. This is like an eggplant.
yeah.
Cucumber.
Well, Roma tomatoes, Roma tomatoes are candy tomatoes, bro. Like everyone puts Romas in their garden, but I don't know why. Because
just a garden variety, dude. That's 1 star.
Yeah, it is. Like
Roma
Roma's
tomato,
like a
1
1 star, bro. Like literally,
Eggplant,
if you're
cool variety, not for everybody. 2 stars.
No, you want to grow like a, a non, you got like a dope ass heirloom. I'm trying to think some of the ones I've
like
grown.
a
before.
mango, you know what I mean? Like we can't get those everywhere.
Yeah,
Mango
it's true.
could be a good one. Like let's go mango. Right?
Bro, I don't have time to
Grow
to
a
write
mango?
a mango down. I'm just doing stars because again
you
I'm
pull
doing
it
the
off
call
a
as it's
sticker
happening. I'm like, yeah, Ryan Greenspan right here just puts the team on his back and gets a little 4-pack here to close out. They're down by 2. Unbelievable performance from Ryan Greenspan. I'm literally writing Ryan 3-pack as I'm doing that, and as soon as Then they're like, Todd will pick it up, and then like
a
I'm trying to finish
cilantro, a
it.
serrano, and like a jalapeno. You get all 3 of those things. That's like the salsa version.
Hell yeah, love that, dude. I love all those.
We're
things.
just trying
I
to
got
make
some
things
salsa
easier
here.
for you.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Anyway,
Stickers.
so then you put it all out and you kind of wait. You know, so it's like I'm the Russian judge. You know, like a Russian judge is super hardcore, and it can't. You know, it's like it's just everything's super extra difficult. It may look good, but it's like, was it really that hard? Because sometimes dudes will go through and we're singing the praise. We gotta sell it on the webcast. It's like, look at this amazing run through here in a 5-pack for Alex Goldman. Yeah, it's just blah 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 blah. You know, it's like it's a 5-pack, but no one was looking his way. He bunkered the dude in front of him. That dude was looking inside, and everyone was making mistakes. And he runs through and he made some accurate shots downfield, but that's a kind of a stock 5-pack. Whereas dudes that have to earn it, like really dig deep and shoot multiple buys, be involved in multiple gunfights and get multiple looks, and they're down bodies and points. It's like those are the ones that are kind of the big deal, So that gets weighted extra heavily if you're in that situation. Okay. So anyway, so based on that, not from the last event because I still have a lot of footage to review for that one, but for
Dude,
MAO,
you almost could have got it from last event in the impact game. 0.1.
I know.
It's on the list, dude.
But
it's not on the list because that didn't work.
But someone else did it.
That's the one I almost put on the list. I was
almost. That would have been on the list.
I was starting to write it down, and I was like, nah. Okay, so in the prelims, Mikey Arena.
Yep.
Mikey Arena in a really tough situation. So Dynasty's down 0-2, and at that point in time, so you guys are playing
Collision.
Slow
game.
So, but it's 0.3 of game 3 of the first game of day 2, and you guys had a really good day on day 1. So you're sitting at 2-0 with a +4. So it's like, all right, we can't really, let's not mess this up here, right? And then you go down 2 to Collision. So like you need something to happen. And he's on their side of the field and just shreds dudes. Like gets the kill inside. It's like a little off camera, and then has like Scorpions shooting this other dude, and Bunker like puts him on a poster and then makes the through it there and just cleans it up. And it was just, I mean, there was a bunch of other moves that were on paper, but it was just, that was the one in the prelims that got me. I was like, okay, Mikey Arena, because dude, down 0-2.
Well, here's the crazy thing about that one.
You should beat on paper. You should be beating Collision. They've got you by 2. There's not a ton of time left. Like that's a must-win point. That's got to have a point.
Here's the other crazy thing about that scenario is that was not an easy snake to make. First of all, right? Second of all, Mikey wasn't the snake guy. Like he was the number 2 guy. He was always in the floating zone. Mikey came in and said, "Send me to the snake. I'm gonna go score this point." And then now when Mikey's on, we didn't have a front guy. Like we didn't realize, like when we called the line, we didn't know who to put in behind him because Mikey was the 2 guy. So Blake then had to run out there, and Blake had to play, who never played on that side of the field, maybe in practice a couple times.
Yeah.
Had to play the 2 behind him, and like the 2 behind that guy was arguably the most difficult spot on the field because you're either doubled up in the back center, or you have to float in that weird dead zone, or you have to dive into the spot. And if you're diving into the spot, then someone's running to the snake. Mm-hmm. So it's such a hard position to play. And then Mikey literally got in there, crawled straight to the other side, shot 2 guys, bunkered a dude, and then boom.
It was just also like a very impressive. It was a good look as far as like what it looked like. It was incredibly impressive on the level of difficulty, the situational awareness, and the moment. Again, down 2, got to have it point. That was very impressive. And that was like, again, there was a lot of really good moves. Shout out to some of the, hold on, let me go back to my notes and shout out some of these dudes that had a couple honorable mentions. And maybe as we get through the year, we could maybe stack, because I could hit up Darren, we could get like a list of highlights and bring some of these guys on and talk about some of these like honorable mention moves. Because it's just, some of these moves are really hard to call. I mean, there was some guys like Caleb Abel, dude, on the last one was just on fire, dude. It was very impressive. Or at MAO. I mean, I had Caleb on the list 4 times.
Damn.
Hold on. 1, 2, 4 times he's on the list. Some guys make it once, most guys never. I mean, this is a very rare list, to get on. But to make it on 4 times, it just, so again, that's we could do 30 minutes of just rack up every move that Caleb had on that one, give him his credit, even though he doesn't get the money, but yeah, Mikey was just insane. But yeah, I just wanted to give a ton of respect to Caleb Abel, because that dude was just having an amazing tournament for the Ironman, and he just didn't win the money, but it still was incredibly impressive.
So let's talk about so congratulations to Mike Urena. Is going to be getting $500 from Pate Smith, courtesy of Pate Smith Law, for move of the prelims. Pate sponsors all 5 events. I think the prize money doubles at World Cup. Don't quote me on that, but I do know there's a bonus for World Cup. But Mikey's getting $500 for that comeback against Collision. Next, on to the move of the finals.
Yeah, so
it's for MAO.
Yeah, it is MAO. And I'll try to get the next ones here pretty quick, because I'm at the point where I gotta. So I'm creating a bunch of.
Sunday.
No, it's just Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Just Sunday it's just so you have the prelims and then you have Sunday.
Yeah.
Because everything gets harder on Sunday. You're playing the best teams out there. The pressure's more. Everyone starts, thinking about things more. You get in that that stressful combat headspace, and so if you're making amazing moves on Sunday that are big and bold, you deserve to be rewarded and honored. And the deeper you go, so I definitely wait because if there's some crazy 3-pack that a guy had to do a lot of work for in the finals versus like a garden variety 4 or 5-pack that happened in the wild card round, I'm like, it's like, yeah, dude, no one was looking at you. Yeah, you made some accurate shots downfield and you were brave enough to make the move, but you didn't really have to do a ton of work other than that 20-yard sprint, and the accurate shots. So this is it's in the finals. It's 4-1. So his team does have a lead, but there's 5-ish minutes on the clock, about 4:59 on the clock when this is going down. It's Keith Brown. So he's in that snake, and we're back to that event. So it's, again, that snake was incredibly important, but the way that field played, it was very tactical field. You had to get great reads, and he had multiple bodies in front of him. So he's in the baby Dorito out on the outside, and it's not looking good for his team. They're down bodies, and they're down a body. And if he doesn't make this move and Impact's able to close out this high body situation, it's now a 2-point game with, if he gets shot in this move or dies out of his bunker, they're going to have that whole side to themselves. They'll probably win it within the next 30 seconds or so unless somebody pulls off something crazy. And now we got a 2-point game with around 4 minutes left, completely different story. Damage ended up running away with this one. But so it's Keith Brown. And it's just, if you go back and rewatch this one, it's just one of those, whenever we give Keith Brown his Hall of Fame jacket, Ryan, it will be this will be one of those on the list. It's just it's just so Keith Brown, because the burst speed, the read he gets, the burst speed, the accuracy of the shots, the fact that, he's down bodies and it's a pressure situation. It was just, of a day, we had a decent amount of good moves that day, and Mouse is on the list. Mouse was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, Mouse and Keith had a lot of Mouse especially had a lot of those just breakaway, just really lucky, really good well-timed moves when the guy would get right into one of the 50s or right into that starfish and just put his gun down or look away, and they would launch and get 1 or 2 guys.
Mouse had
the speed those 2 guys have is crazy.
Mouse had some really big ones. I just felt that in this specific moment, we've all been there before. Well, we've all seen leads crumble before. If you've been deep enough in tournament paintball, you've been witness to leads crumbling right before your eyes. If he doesn't make this move at this specific time, we could have been singing a different song for the year.
For sure.
Because now Impact has the momentum, and now they're feeling really good about themselves, and they have 4 minutes to work with. 2-minute points, down by 2. Maybe that works out for him. Maybe it doesn't. But it was, and the way he did it, it was one of those just he just pulled out, like we talked about, battle axes and assassin knives. He pulled out the battle axe in this one, because it was just, he just blazes down the field, and there's the 2 guys in front of him. It was one of those that, as the dust settles, we're like, how did they not put a ball on him? It's like, it's just very impressive. So anyway, yeah, Keith Brown, he's the one that's going to get the money for Sunday on that one. And then I definitely have my work cut out for me, because I started going through the list after all these past weekends, and I kind of sat down and I started going through all the list for this next one, and I'm just like, oh Jesus, because there's so many good. There's so many. It was at one of those fields, you know.
Yeah.
That was.
Take a picture of the list, send it to me, and let me see if we can help. You know,
I mean, I put a
text all those guys and be like, "Yo, dog."
Well, we need to. Let me do a little. I need to do a little triage. Because some of the list is the list is very raw. It's just a rough draft.
Look to see who they're playing against, how important it was, the score.
But there's a lot of uprising players on this list.
Yeah.
Woodward
the
and
Tyler
Borromeo.
Harmon where he was crawling on the inside part of the snake.
It wasn't. He wasn't. It was an axe. He slipped,
Yeah, but
but it was still tight.
yeah.
It was better executed than mine.
Yours wasn't executed.
No, it wasn't executed at all.
Dude, I remember when you made that move. I'm like, dude, if this works out, because you had called your shot
Yeah.
when you were on the webcast. You were like,
"Oh,
oh
look at
yeah.
this."
You're like, guys need to do this, and then you start to do it, and then you just got shot and didn't feel it and get a penalty, and it was just
Yeah.
Tim,
It was as bad as it gets.
Maddie, I'm standing there like on the coaching box, and Alex, I don't know what Alex was doing right before this, but he comes up, he's like, "What? This is take too long. Where's Ryan? Ryan's dead too. Blow the horn, Kyle." I'm like, "No, Ryan." I was like, "Watch this. You don't even know where Ryan's at. He's about to win the game and get moved of the event." He's like, "Huh?" He's like, "Ryan's not out there." I was like, "Dude, he's out there. Watch this." And then I look over, and then Ryan comes up, and then we get a major, and I was like,
A little rusty, man. I was like, first time back.
Dude, hey, I'm not giving you any grief at all, brother. That was, you had everything lined up. It was just, and this was one of those examples because sometimes people will say, yeah, man, the pros always know when they're hit. They're always cheating in that situation. I'm like, no, dude. This will be one I use for years. 10 years from now, I'll be like, if we go back 10 years ago when Ryan had that amazing dope move planned out and he almost pulled it off, but he didn't feel that hit, I'm like, there's no way you felt that hit, because if you did, you would have called yourself out, because
I wouldn't
you're
have
not
shot the
going
guy
to do that.
6 times in the back.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's just like, I'm sorry, the pros don't always know their hit, man. Like,
Dude,
no one,
imagine you, like,
we're all
came
mortal
up-
out here. We make
I know, I know.
Imagine
And all
you
in my
came up
mind,
with the perfect spot.
it came like the whole thing was in my mind. It just looked like I was closer to the thing than I was. And then when I played it back, I was like, damn, I was that far away from that thing. Poof. I was just thinking that I was on the other side of him almost, and my loader was like this. I'm like, oh man, this is loud.
I couldn't believe that they-
no one was listening to you're overthinking things.
That's
bro.
what I
You really
said.
think
I was
people
can
also,
hear it.
but
I can hear it.
your loader,
Maddie,
dog?
I said, as
Nobody
my
on our
coaching
team
ability,
was
I
saying
go,
a
hey,
word.
you can fill up your loader before you finish the crawl.
Nobody was
moving.
Nobody on our
one's
team was
listening.
talking. No one was shooting their gun. It was awfully quiet, and all I heard was this.
I really don't think that anyone could have heard your loader.
I
think
couldn't
if you were
believe that
just
those
committed
guys
to the
sat there
move,
for that long in those two little spots in the snake.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Yeah, worked. Hey, that's why.
Yeah.
Why not? All right, so those two guys, and we'll get the next one running a little sooner. Once you clean up your notes, send it over to me, and we'll get some
Okay.
we'll get some of the Spick and Span crew.
And I'm building
Okay.
you a website right now, tool, Maddie. It's already in process. It'll be cool.
hell yeah, dude. Thank you so much. All right, so it's just in the running. There's a lot of, I'm looking at the stars. It's a lot. So we got Borromeo and Woodward on here multiple times. Rainey's on here. Harris Tyler. We got again, but it's like, sometimes I'll go back and look at the ones that I double starred and then the ones I didn't star or like just gave a 1 star to, and I'll look back and sometimes the 1 stars become 2 and the 3 stars become 1 because maybe his boy got that kill out wide and you'll rewatch it 3-4 times. You're like, oh, that kill you think he got when you're watching it live, that was actually his middle dude that shot that dude, so he didn't get that kill. And then, there's like this, it kind of comes down to that sometimes. So anyway,
I feel you.
I'm just talking through my complications over here, trying to give people fucking some money.
Okay, last but not least, what shows are you watching right now?
What shows am I watching?
Come on. Give us something
Honestly,
good.
no, I haven't really been watching a ton of shows. Been reading more books.
I see that. I see all those books behind you.
Yeah. So, trying to think, like, I've been trying to get through this Ian W. Toll, War in the Western Pacific. I've read this a couple times.
Oh.
But it's to prepare for this, I don't know, this eventual history podcast I'll do one
Twilight.
day. But
The gods.
Twilight of Gods, War in the Western Pacific, 1944 to
girth on that
45.
Yeah, baby.
give
Wow.
like a perspective. It's pretty thick. I mean, we're looking at
my fist.
I don't know. It's 900 pages, but that's the
Jeez.
third one. So it's you're looking at like a I don't know. It's like I really enjoy like anytime it's if you like hiking and you look at a 12,000-foot mountain, you're not like oh that sucks. You're like dope 12,000-foot mountain. So that's kind of how I look at history books.
Some people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like look at paintball. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I got to go play the best teams in the world. It's a little intimidating. You're like, yeah, bring it on. Or what do you like surfing? Whatever it is you do that you really like doing, that
Everything's
you're good at
intimidating
doing.
for me, man.
You know, so I don't know. Does anyone have any? I just haven't been watching a ton of TV recently. So if anyone has any good in the chat, like any good shows that they're watching that are pretty dope,
I mean, you saw Night of the Seven Kingdoms, right?
I have not seen that.
Whoa.
That good?
You're gonna love it. You're gonna really love that.
I mean, I read all the book. Well, I read all the canon, like the standard books for Game of Thrones, right? Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's one of the Game of Thrones canons.
I did watch the that offshoot one with Egg and the
Yeah, that one.
Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Is this the same one we're
Shit.
talking about?
What did I say?
No, you
Yeah,
did.
so
But I hadn't watched it. I watched it a year ago when it first came out. It came out like
okay,
a year
yeah.
ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. That was excellent. That was super good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I just haven't really been watching a ton. Nothing, no TV or anything where I've been like, oh, this is of substance that I need to tell people about. You know, it's like
Yeah, I feel like
kind of like the
that's
food,
pretty
kind of like the food on the cruise. Everyone's like, oh, cruise food's so good, and I was like,
nothing to write home about.
Yeah, I wasn't like the one thing. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, dude, you got to go on the Carnival cruise for this food. It was like elevated cafeteria food. I feel like everything that I've consumed recently, as far as visual media is concerned, is like elevated cafeteria food. It's palatable and it's slightly nutritious, but it's not something that I'm gonna like, let anyone else know about. This is and throw up a signpost or a flag and be like, hey. You gotta watch this shit. You gotta eat this shit. So
I think that's accurate. I think that's pretty accurate. The Odyssey, maybe.
Yeah.
I need to go see that.
I feel like I have seen so many internet takes on the Odyssey, and yes, I did. I had a philosophy minor in college, so I did read some ancient Greek stuff. Not in ancient Greek, but I did partake on some Odyssey 20-something years ago. It's been a while. There's been a ton of new. There was a new translation that came out. I did watch this really interesting take. It was he's an ancient Greek scholar, and he basically was like, here are all the different canon translations of Homer, of the Odyssey, and here where they rank. Like if you want your most poetic, you go with this guy. If you would like your most accurate to the ancient Greek, and he went back like 300 years. And he brought in the most recent one. I can't remember her name, but it's caught a lot of flack because she most recently wrote an article kind of slamming the new one. She's I don't follow this woman and I don't know a ton about her, but she was basically saying that the new adaptation was kind of trash and she didn't like it because of whatever reason, but she's also caught a lot of flack for her translation for it. I don't know. I mean, we could do some time on that time period and what those things are, but I don't know. I think you kind of have to take all myth, which when you have an oral tradition of anything for that long,
It's a game of telephone.
Yes, it does start residing in the game in the realm of myth, but it still is a foundational text for Western culture, and it is something that needs to be treated with at least a little bit of reverence, I would say. I feel like my least favorite word is irreverence. I don't like the term irreverence, even though sure there are some things that I'm irreverent to, but I feel that the older I get, the more reverence I have for what has become before. The more that I learn about things, the more reverence I have for just the high watermarks of the past and measuring ourselves by that. Anyway, that may be for another time, but yeah, I'm trying to think of I None of the books I'm reading right now are with me though. They're all inside because it's hot as hell out here, and these are just the.
This isn't where
what
you
I
go to unwind and read a nice book.
No, definitely not. This is where I come to do work and suffer. But yeah, these are the other Ian Toll books. And I'll tell you what, if you wanna, I mean, if you look at the Pacific campaign, this is why I'm so fascinated by, well, World War II specifically is such a, talk about a high watermark. That's like a high watermark of cruelty, of technology at the time, of hyperspeeding the development of technology to slaughter human beings, of politics, of all these different things. And then it birthed our modern society. So, and then the Pacific campaign specifically, because it was just, there's nothing out in the Pacific, and then you had the Japanese Empire coming out and then us going back that way. So it was like the type of warfare that was happening there was just not comparable to what was happening, specifically on the Western front of the European theater. The Eastern front was its whole nother bloodbath. That's actually the, you want to talk about the crucible of cruelty. That was the Eastern front for sure. But also there was just more people dying out there. But the cruelty was also equally measured out in the Pacific. It just, we didn't have as many deaths by like a factor of like multiple standard deviations. But anyway.
2 questions.
Yes.
1, do you have any recommendations of a book that's similar to Band of Brothers? Captain Underpants Civil War.
Captain Underpants Civil War. Band of Brothers was amazing. Obviously a big favorite of mine. I'm trying to think of anything out here. That's such an interesting one though, because it's if you're trying to go with something that's like Band of Brothers, it has to be, one troop fighting through difficult situations. And I'm trying to think if there's something that's comparable to that. I mean, you will find quite a bit of that in the if you look in the Eastern, so in the Eastern theater, you will have some of that. I just don't have any of those books here. I'm trying to remember some of them.
And then as you're looking for that, more importantly, what do you know about, speaking of World War II, about the Germans kind of migrating south to Antarctica to build a base
anti-gravity flying
where they were like building high tech, because you talked about high tech stuff, and I feel like they were on the verge of something really big, which is why we had to take them down. But like, anti-gravity flying saucers, death rays, cloning facilities, there's the U of the D Glock. Like, what do we know about all this stuff? Because then there's like these Earth gateways that the German scientists found, where there's like this warm geothermal caverns under the ice caps. Like, we read up on that a little bit? Because then there's like there's that
new burst hard to start again.
Yeah, there's like that whole area down there where there's the ice wall possibly where we're not allowed to go to. But all of the nations have like this no fly, like this, like we're all just gonna like be peaceful down here and not gonna go look there. But then there might be dinosaurs. So can you tell me a little bit about that? In 2 minutes.
I don't feel that the Antarctica landmass would be a good place to try to do much of anything productive, because the weather there is so oppressive, and the amount of you can't grow anything there. So let's just say hypothetically that we did have.
If I can interject.
Yeah, of course, please.
Quantum computing specifically needs extreme cold in order for it to be able to function. So perhaps the Germans were onto something, and they needed to do their scientific experiments in the cold. Also, you could preserve the dinosaurs in cryostasis.
I love your stream of consciousness conspiracy theory nonsense right now. This is great.
Well,
first of
true.
all, if you're just, again, from a logistics perspective, because everything runs off logistics. So, we talk about all these crazy World War II stories and the heroic, landings of the beaches and all these different places and the battles over the whatever, blah, 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 blah. It takes an insane amount of logistics in order for all that to happen. So if you are going to have some sort of base in the 1940s for the Nazis to be partaking, and they were having a hard time feeding some of their troops.
Because all the resources were diverted down there.
Yeah, so how are we getting any sort of food at all unless they also invented some sort of like Star Trek food generator, which who knows is totally possible. Hey man, I'm not like I'm not trying to, tell you that this is completely and well, sort of, but unfathomable. But yeah, you just have to feed those people. Sure, maybe they had quantum computing back then, predating. We don't even really we have it now, but we're trying to make strides. That is something that's happening currently that is fascinating here in 2026. So if we go back my entire father's lifetime to the 40s, yeah, it's probably a hard no for me, dog. Okay. To feed them. Did the Nazis go to Argentina? That's a different, more plausible explanation of some conspiracy theory stuff. But as far as there being some sort of ice wall or some Hollow Earth shit, as far as the Nazis that we saw in like Hellboy or whatever the fuck that movie was, like probably not. Anyway,
didn't even think about them.
But sorry, yeah, I'm down for any more conspiracy theory questions because this is right up my alley. However, is this in the chat? I have a couple book recommendations for people if they want them.
Yeah, just fire them off.
All right, so just
while you're doing that, Maddie, I'm gonna spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel.
Hey, you got it. Floor is yours.
Yeah, your floor is yours. And action. And action. You got some recommendations?
Oh wait, are you action for me? I thought you
action
were
for you.
Wheel.
Yeah, no, this is you. I'm spinning the wheel in the background, and we still want you to talk.
Sorry, bro. I was looking at some
you
of my notes. No, I was looking at some of the notes in my
action,
book.
Maddie,
here.
action.
You said you got to say my name, bro. I thought action is in the wheel, dude. Like
we said the floor was yours.
Okay, my bad. Sorry, I got totally focused and sucked into these books. All right, so as far as like a band of brothers situation, totally different. This is the total curveball, but there's this one was really interesting. So this one's called A Land So Strange, the epic journey of Cabeza de Vaca, which means like head of the cow. But this guy, so this is a story of a guy that was shipwrecked. It's the extraordinary tale of a shipwrecked Spaniard who walked across America in the 16th century. So this is the 1500s. This guy got shipwrecked. He was part of a Spanish expedition into the mainland of America that failed, and he had to walk. And so basically, he walked across the continent for years. This is well documented. This really happened. And he emerged in Mexico. They thought he was an Indian. He's like, no, I'm Spanish. Anyway, it's like one of the craziest stories I've ever heard of in my entire life. And as far as Band of Brothers, he walked with like a couple guys, and it was just him and a couple dudes the entire time. Again, totally curveball into the Band of Brothers scenario. But again, what's Band of Brothers? It's a group of men stranded in a uncertain predicament where life is on the line. So this one is a fascinating read. That one's interesting. This one also similar situation, a group of men, life on the line, things couldn't get worse. It's called Over the Edge of the World, Magellan's terrifying circumnavigation of the globe. And everyone credits Magellan with being the first to circumnavigate the globe. He actually did not. He died trying to fight a random tribe in the Philippines, getting locked into some nonsense. Anyway, but the story is just a group of men trying to deal with horrific and horrible ordeals, going where no person had gone before in the way that they did it. Fascinating. This one is called The Greatest Night, The Remarkable Life of William Marshall and who was the power behind 5 English thrones. No relation to me because he wasn't able to carry, like he had some sons, but their line didn't carry on. But William Marshall is widely regarded as the greatest knight of all time of any era of any nation. William Marshall. Whoa. Yeah. And Marshall means war
over
leader.
King Arthur?
Huh? Well, King Arthur is mythical. William Marshall was real. So
that checks out. Let me add these 3 notes.
What about Braveheart?
Braveheart, William Wallace was real.
He was real.
He's real. It's a real story.
But he wasn't a knight.
No. No, he was not a knight.
What about the knight that defended the goblet of life in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade against against
Yeah, dude, that
coincidentally
dude
the Nazis.
Yeah, super real. Yeah, that's a real story. Yeah, they 100%. Yeah, that guy's
The Nazis
that's a
again.
real
You see how
story.
it comes full circle here?
Yeah, Indiana Jones. Yeah, my great grandfather actually took a class with Indiana Jones.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, see? Told you.
Dr. Jones.
Dr. Jones.
Dr. Jones.
This one's fascinating because this is like the butterfly effect. A butterfly flaps his wings in Mongolia, which causes a hurricane out in the Caribbean. Anyway, but this is about knowledge, and it's called the Swerve. And so the Swerve, I don't know why this. Anyway, Swerve by Stephen Greenblatt. So there was this guy who worked in Rome, and he ended up being kind of between jobs, but he had enough money, and he dipped out there, and he went to Germany, up into the Holy Roman Empire, to look for ancient Roman knowledge, and he found some. And because of the way that knowledge is transferred over time, we go to papyrus, to paper, vellum, and all these things degrade over time. If people aren't, this is kind of the same thing with paintball. It's like if things aren't being consciously, by individuals consciously taking knowledge and putting it from one era to the other, it disappears forever. And anyway, so I love that book. It's just so fascinating because a lot of the stuff that came from the Enlightenment and the Renaissance came from this one guy going into these monasteries and finding these old pieces of knowledge from ancient Rome. And this is just one that anyone should read because this is like, I don't know, money's kind of super important in your life. And this one's called The Ascent of Money. And it literally tells the story of how money works in the world and where it came from. What is money? And how does human beings interact with what we call money? So it's fascinating. Talks about the origin of the stock market, talks about the origin of paper currency,
I hope everybody's writing all this down.
Anyway, well, you can go back and rewatch it. But anyway, so those are my recommendations.
I like it. Thanks,
Okay,
Maddie.
fine.
I think people are going to love that. Replay, that's for sure. All right, guys, I've got these. So real quick, we've got a couple prizes going out to Rob PB, Philip Middleton, Adam Lovejoy, Ducati Fratelli, Steve Segovia. And then I'm going to spin right now for our boat members. Someone's going to win. I'll throw in a lens in here as well for you guys. So I've got some signature DV8 ears with little DV8 buttons and a BFP Gear gold frame exclusively available from bfpgear.com. So I'm going to spin this little wheel down here.
Mega?
Right, believe me. This is the boat squad.
The
boat members.
You could do a second spin too for
I did
Tiger.
already. That was
okay.
we got a mega.
got it.
That was we did it. We did it. Mr. Kev, OG, let's go. There we go. Sick. Also, Maddie, I've got a set of QLS frames and bottoms, whole setup for you over here for one day.
Yeah, I do need to grab those because my push goggles are getting a little worn out, and I always was a fan of I got some JT ones in here that are probably, I don't know, 30 years old, but I don't really want to wear those anymore. So
yeah, I've got a fresh pair, black, just simple, easy. I've got a green pair if you want that instead. George Martinez just ordered the Agent of Money. There we go, dude. We're changing people's lives here.
The Ascent of Money.
You got the wrong book, brother.
George, you got the wrong book. That one might be good too.
Yeah, who knows?
Give us a review, George.
If you got it on Amazon, it's pretty easy to just take it.
Did you know that Amazon, with a Prime membership, gives you one free book a month?
No, I didn't.
Did you know that?
As for
if you have a Prime membership,
hold on, no, for Audible, I think that's Audible.
I don't know.
That's got to be Audible, because trust me, I'm an Amazon Prime member and I order a lot of books. And I've never ever one time if this is like some hidden, some like
Prime members access free
thing.
ebooks.
There it is. Yeah.
There we go. Sorry, my
Yeah.
bad. Sorry, guys.
Hey, ebooks are better than no books, but
George got the right one, guys.
But this again, just guys, read paper books. Like grab a physical book, read a physical book. Like if it's going to be self-help, make sure it's a really good one because everyone keeps reading self-help books, and then you read 50 self-help books, and you're the same state of life. Maybe read some philosophy, some history, some political science, I don't know, some fiction. It'll teach you some empathy for other human beings. And then write things down longhand. Please, they're trying to do my public service announcement for human beings. So we don't just slightly head off into that silent good night where
We're headed there.
literally start living in fucking idiocracy. You know what I'm saying?
We're very close. Very close. Very close. As we go and jump back into our AI to ask questions.
Yeah, no, but AI is a tool, man. It's a great tool to use. When the printing press came around, you can't look at the printing press and be like, no, we only have to write things down long. That's not my point here. My point is that, let me put it this way. There was a younger kid. I was with the Lions. We were at dinner one night, and this one kid, he's 19 years old, and he's gotten into lifting weights. You know, so he's using the physical application of moving matter around to increase the strength of his muscles by making sure that there's tension and there's stress there, right? You know, to become stronger. And I'm like, okay, cool, dude. You know, like he's starting to get jacked for, he's still a skinny little dude, but he's tall, but he's, 19 years old. But he's, put in a lot of work to, become physically fit. So I'm like, good for you. However, so he's at the same breath that he's talking about how physically fit he's becoming, he's now talking about how he's using AI to do all the schoolwork for him in college. And I'm like, okay, have you thought about maybe the fact that you're using all this like stress and physical effort in order to, and all this stuff, this work you've been doing so you can get jacked, right, bro? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool, but you're taking the easy way out with your brain, which is way more important than your body, because your body eventually, like, I don't care how long it goes, but you can be the jacked old guy, but the mind is the most important thing. You agree with that, right? He's like, yeah. And I was like, then why are you taking the easy way out and letting AI do all the thinking for you? Like, let it be an asset for you, but you need to be able to use your brain to think. And he's like, oh, I never thought of it that way. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
As
dude.
Blake Yarbrough always said, if you're going to be dumb, you better be tough.
Yeah. Anyway, so.
All right, Matty. But you're absolutely right. I think that, there's no doubt there. That's better strengthen that brain and those arms. If not, make sure those arms are real strong.
Hey, we're not fighting the machines. I don't care how strong your arms are. You're not fighting the machines. So.
Yeah.
But you could, just again, this is the big game theory. I'll leave you guys with this anecdote. The smarter people will send you in there to shake the bushes to see what's in there. Use your brute strength. If the bad guys are in there, the canary in the coal mine. We talked about it last week. That's what the strong people do.
Until next week.
All right, Maddie.
The stage is set.
Hey, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, dude. I appreciate you. Hold on. And everyone watch the ESPN. You can give that shout out again. I gave everybody Starry Night right now.
Okay. Yeah, no, ESPN show on Saturday. I need to see what time it is, but yeah, Saturday. Check your local listings.
Doc will put up the.
We had the reason why we're getting this opportunity again is because the past shows have done pretty good. They've done well. So
nice.
As long as we can kind of keep pushing that ball forward, we get more opportunities. It's probably heard me say this on the show before, but when I work with teams, one of my favorite sayings is that, look, Rome wasn't, that whole like, oh, Rome wasn't built in a day, but best believe they were putting fucking bricks in the wall every single day. So, and because little by little, a little becomes a lot, and we are where we are. So it's like we got to get to the point where, if we can get support from our local community as we had the past couple of years on these shows, and then we get a little bit more airtime. We haven't had to pay for the airtime, so now we get a little bit more, and we get a little bit more. So we just kind of have to be putting those bricks in the wall. Unless you're a billionaire, and then hit me up, and we can do something with that.
You can hit me up too.